Podtacular episode 419, Pax East 2014, for April 18th, 2014. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I'm your host, Duststorm, and for this week's podcast, we're going to be talking a little bit about an event that happened last week called Pax, Penny Arcade Expo, for those who do not know what that stands for. And I have with me Vanirfreyja, who we were kind of traveling around the Pax floor together. This is your first time on, actually, so welcome to Podtacular, finally.
I did it!
Yay! Achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
On Podtacular. So we were actually roommates for the weekend, and we did a lot of stuff together. And we it was kind of intense with how much stuff we did and how long we had to wait in lines and everything. But it was a good weekend, I think. Definitely lots of cool things that we got to see. Diversity was probably not as much as it could have been, but we got to see some pretty cool stuff, at least for us. And we got to talk to some pretty interesting people, which we'll get to in a little bit. But first off, Vanny, since this is your first appearance on our podcast, we get to do a little guest interview. So tell everyone at home who you are and kind of what community you are from.
Okay.
Just a short synopsis.
Yeah, okay. Well, Vanirfreyja, like you said, Vanny for short, because my name is ridiculous and intimidating to some people.
But it's ridiculously awesome. Just saying.
I am extremely active on griffballhub.com with Goose and Cal, who I'm sure you've had on here 1,000 times.
Yeah. I think the running total is maybe about 4 or 5 right now. Right now I'm an AGLA admin, which is the American Griffball League of America that was originally started by Bernie Burns and Rooster Teeth, who created Griffball. And I'm also a community leader and a community helper, welcome wagon, etc. I do a lot over there, lots of things. But other than Griffball Hub, I help out over on another site called Ricochet Hub. Yay!
Where you also help out whenever we can. We try to just help the staff over there and give our input and advice.
Yeah. A little podcast exclusive. I think I'm going to arrange an event in a week or two. So that'll be coming down the pipeline.
Nice.
Yeah. My first one is kind of overdue at this point, but it will be coming. Finally.
Yeah. But and also I'm a member of Master Theory, which the website for that is mastertheory.net. It's from the outside, I guess you would call it a clan, but it's more like just a close-knit family community website. And also, I don't know if Rob really wants me saying this on a podcast, but it's kind of all over Twitter and everything anyway. But another website I used to work for called bigteambattle.net should be reopening in the next coming months, hopefully.
Wow.
We are really excited to reopen the site, try to give it a fresh new look, and we're going to tackle more games this time around.
That is cool. That was something I wanted to get back into back in the day when it was up and around. And I remember when Nick Adila was actually in that. I think for like the first 2 seasons, he was really fronting bigteambattle.net. Mm-hmm. So that's something that would be really interesting to see come back.
Yes. I'm very hopeful that it's going to take some work because, obviously we need to revamp it and it needs a lot of work. And I'm just hoping it can happen soon because I'm really excited to just, dig into like a big, not just Halo, but a Titanfall community too, because as you know, I am getting really hyped up for Titanfall.
Yes. And there are some good reasons for that too, especially after we had some chats with some very interesting and influential people for Titanfall at PAX. Well, there's a little teaser.
Accidentally, and it was great.
Yes.
little teaser there for you guys as we get through the days of PAX for you. But yeah, so Vanny is very involved with the Halo community. It's been a just simple pleasure to just play with her online and get to see all the stuff that she's involved with and interact with. So we had a very good time at PAX though. So let's start off with day one. Day one of PAX, we got to stand in line for 3 hours at the Borderlands booth.
Kind of. We didn't expect to have to be in line for that long, but it happened.
It was ridiculous. And this was, well, let me preface that. This is the first time that, at least the times I've been going to PAX, and I think it's the same as for you, Vanny, is the first time that there hasn't been any kind of Halo or 343 presence at a PAX event.
None whatsoever. It was actually really depressing.
Yeah.
I haven't been going to cons as long as you. So since, like 2 years ago, about when I started, I go to RTX, I go to PAX Prime, and they've always been there. And this was the first time that not only did they have nothing on the floor and they had no panel, but like none of them were there either, like just to hang out or just check out PAX or nothing, like, which hopefully means that they're very busy working on the next game. But on the other hand, it was just kind of sad. I was really hoping to get to see them.
Yeah, it was really, and the thing was, I talked to Jess a little bit earlier on in the year, and it seemed like people were going to be there, that it wasn't going to be a full entourage of 343 people because they didn't have anything to present, but it sounded like some people were going to be there just to kind of show up, and there was no presence whatsoever.
Yeah.
And even with that, to that effect, there wasn't many Halo people that we know of that went there, other than, we knew each other went. 60K, who used to be with Waypoint, who is the community manager at Robot Entertainment, he was there doing CM stuff for the new multiplayer Orcs Must Die that's coming out. And Goose and Cow were there. I know a few people who listen to the podcast were there, and I have a interesting Starstruck story to tell. And then I don't think there were really many other people there. I know Savage Giggles was there, but other than that, I don't really know of any other people that we consider like big in the Halo community or that we know from the Halo community really there.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, there was friends here and there that I know from Halo communities, but no other community leaders really attended PAX East this year.
I mean, there was the Bungie.org folks. Sloa, Duncan was there actually, but I didn't see him all weekend. But yeah, it was Kermit was there. But yeah, it was really strange to have a PAX that didn't have anything Halo related. But it was also nice because we got to experience PAX as most other people experience PAX.
Yeah, like that was kind of like the silver lining of it in a way, is like I got to just kind of go to a PAX instead of just like a fangirl squee, it's Halo Con,
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, we take it for what it is, and we kind of hope for the best coming down the road, because we know E3 is going to dump a lot of Halo information regarding the possibility of Halo 2 Anniversary, maybe Halo 5, the Halo TV series, the announcement of the new Halo digital feature with Ridley Scott. So there's going to be a ton of information that's going to come out with Halo with E3, and we'll probably see a lot of stuff at PAX Prime too. So PAX Prime tickets, I'm starting to look out for them already. I know a lot of people online are starting to look out for already, and I've started kind of getting into networks of people that will be buying passes to try to get there. So it's going to be...
Yeah, like even if you're looking out, you still might not get one. They go fast.
They go insanely fast. I think PAX Prime for last year, the full weekend passes sold out in 11 minutes, and then all the rest of the passes sold out in 42 minutes.
It's ridiculous.
It is a fire sale, pretty much. So, but yeah, it was kind of sad to see 343 folks and no real Halo representation there, but
we repped you, Halo.
Yes, we did. We were there in force, even though it was a small force. We were there. So, But back to the Borderlands booth. Waiting in 3 hours, we got to just kind of pass the time. And once we got through the 3 hours, we actually got to see some live gameplay of the upcoming Borderlands game, the Pre-sequel, which looks a lot of fun. You actually get to go to the moon and the moon base, and they introduced a new element, ice, in there, which is going to, I think, it's going to really mix things up with the game. And I wonder I'm personally interested to see how it's going to interact with the other elements, especially fire.
Yeah, I can see wondering if someone uses a fire weapon, if it's going to melt your ice, because the ice gun actually freezes your enemy if you shoot them with it for long enough. And so, I mean, they didn't show anything like that, so you could speculate that could happen, but it might not. I don't know.
Well, maybe
do any of the other elements counteract each other in any way, or?
I don't think none really counteracts that I can think of, because you have acid, fire, electric, and explosion.
And slag.
So, and slag. Well, slag is like a supplement almost, if you think about it.
You should be slagging anyway.
Yeah, you should slag and then pull out your elementals
slag all
for
the things.
Yes, slag all the things.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it though. Yeah.
The best part was when what was the guy who was doing it? His name was Matt, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember his full name, but they said he was
Matt Armstrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual what's his title is he's the guy that actually heads up Borderlands. The development behind Borderlands. They said that there's more of him in Borderlands 2 than of any other person who worked on the game. Yeah.
So he is Borderlands 2. He's very cool.
he is the think tank.
Yes. But when he was describing the gun, he made it was really funny because another representative from 2K Australia was there introducing the demo for us too. And it was just funny the way he was talking about the ice damage. He was talking about how they've been wanting a gun that could do that, or they wanted that in the game for so long, but they couldn't figure out how to do it, and it was buggy. And then the guys from Australia were just like, nah, we're gonna do it. And he was like, no, we're gonna have to take it out. It's gonna be buggy. And they're like, nah, we got this. And they did it. And haha.
They did. It's awesome. It's like, suck it, Gearbox, suck it.
It's probably how they feel too. They're like, oh.
Well, I think it's a little bashful, but at the same time, I think they're kind of happy that they're actually able to implement this into the game.
Yeah, totally.
And it makes me wonder if there's other elements that they've thought of that they wanted to try to get in there that they just haven't been able to. I can't really think of any other elements that you could
maybe they're saving some other goodies.
Maybe.
Us later.
Although, one of the things I'm really looking forward to for the pre-sequel is being able to play as Claptrap.
Oh my god! You know what's really funny is I'm one of those people that I love and hate Claptrap at the same time. He's so fucking obnoxious, but
he is.
He's you love him anyway.
But he's hilarious.
I'm excited to play as him too. I think it'll be really funny. But talking to Rob, who's Sangmao XMT, if I'm sure some of you probably know him. He's a pretty big community member. He's just no, it's gonna be horrible. I can't believe no one's gonna want to play as him.
I so want to play as him.
And then I told him, I go, they said that the whole reason, one of the big reasons they not only put him in as a playable character, but it sounded like a big reason that they made this kind of game is because there was such a huge demand of people who wanted to play as Claptrap, and he was just no, it's gonna be annoying.
Yeah.
It's just really funny talking to him about it.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think it's because there's a bunch of different Claptraps in the world of Borderlands, so it's not going to be the one that we know that's annoying and just kind of all out funny. There are different Claptraps, and I think this one will be more of the kind that actually is not as stupid.
I thought they said that it is the Claptrap that helps you in Borderlands 2. I swear to God they said that.
I don't remember.
Don't quote me
them.
I'm not sure, but I
don't remember them saying specifically it was the Claptrap. They just said you get to play as Claptrap.
See, I thought they said that.
I mean, I could be wrong too.
Yeah. Haha, speculation.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or
we're used to that with Halo, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun to watch, and it was really cool to see them demo the new element in there and get to show off how they're really constructing a new experience with being on the moon, the low gravity, and being able to kick enemies off into space and have them float away, which is just really cool.
Funny.
Yeah.
You like just saying it doesn't sound like it's that funny, but watching it, it's just
my God. Because I mean. For all of our listeners who have played Borderlands, though, you know that whenever you are killing somebody, there's always the funny dialogue, and there's always these funny methods of people dying. And the low gravity and the ice just makes it even funnier. It really does.
And one of the best parts about the ice is after you freeze them, you can just run up and punch, and they just shatter. Like,
yeah,
that's funny. They demoed it like they had two people playing, so like the one person was freezing them, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then like the second player just runs up and just runs over and punches them, and you're just like, oh my God.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. So they introduced that part of the freezing process pretty humorously.
The other big part of what they showed was the butt slam.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, because when you're on the moon base, you actually have this little mask of oxygen that basically develops around you, and you have it for a certain amount of time. It's not meant to be something that really challenges too much. It kind of adds another element of gameplay to it, and you can actually give yourself kind of a second jump in certain situations. If you like hold forward, you can like get a second boost forward, or you can boost or go from side to side. But if you go down, it's basically like the Mario butt stomp. And you can smash like frozen enemies or weak enemies and kill them that way with your butt. So that was really cool to see too. There were lots of little tidbits in there, and I'm sure we're just kind of scratching the surface on what they want to show. And
well, they did show lasers.
They did show that's another thing. They did show laser weapons because it's the moon, and they have to rip off from James Bond somehow, right?
Yep, they said, oh, you go to the moon, you expect low gravity and
lasers.
And they delivered.
Moonraker for the win. I guess we really haven't talked about the story yet. So the story actually takes place in between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, which is why it's called the Pre-sequel. And it's the story behind the moon base, why it's there, and how Jack really came to power over Pandora. So that's going to be a really interesting story for people that are really interested in the lore behind Borderlands.
I'm actually really excited because I was wondering, like, how did Jack, rise to his, position? He's such a big shot and he seems like such a tool. So how did he get there? So I'm really excited for this storyline. And I think all of the people you get to play as are going to be really interesting, not just Claptrap, but the others as well.
Yeah. Wilhelm's going to be in there. He was fully I was going to say roboticized, but I don't think that's even a word. He was one of the people that you encountered.
Went full robot Borderlands too.
Yeah. Coming up, making up words right on the show. But so you get to play as Claptrap, Wilhelm. What are the other two?
Athena, who was a player from Borderlands 1 DLC.
Which I haven't played.
General Knox. I haven't played it yet. I know, shame on me.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the DLC. Granted, I haven't even played on the Xbox 360, like the game. I played on the PC first, but I know you and me are probably going to team up here pretty soon and go through all of Borderlands 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to happen. I can't believe I haven't played it yet. And I love Lilith. I love her. And I'm looking forward to getting to play as her, too.
Yeah.
Although I did play a little bit of Borderlands 1 and, like, going back a game to where, like, Borderlands 2, you pick something up, you pick everything up. That does not happen in Borderlands 1.
They made a lot of improvements.
They fixed it for 2, but Oh my god, how annoying is that?
Yeah. It's a pretty big jump. If you haven't played Borderlands 1, if you just went to Borderlands 2, then it's going to be it's a drastic change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as drastic as Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2, but it's a pretty big jump in terms of how you interact with the game. The other person that we didn't mention yet was Nisha, who is actually the sheriff from Lynchwood in Borderlands 2. That's the fourth character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember she was in the game for like, I don't know, one mission.
Well, for a few missions, because you had to, like, she was talking to you.
I guess. Yeah, she talked to you for a while.
Yeah, she talked to you, and it's like, oh, you're doing brick sturdy work, are you? And then it's like she's finally gets fed up, and it's like, meet me at the clock tower at midnight or midday or something like that. And then you go and shoot her and take all of her loot.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget, she's Jack's girlfriend.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, when I was playing Borderlands 2, I was like, oh, this character looks really cool. And then you just, like, roll up the street and kill her and her stupid minions. And then that was it. I was like, aw. Like, but, like, so,
well,
I don't
fear
know,
not, because now you get
that was disappointing. So now they have her as a playable character in a different
Yes.
game.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I didn't even think about it. If I mean, she's Jack's boyfriend, then...
Ex-boyfriend?
Ex-boyfriend. Is there going to be some kind of relationship story or mission that you'll be able to take part of in the pre-sequel?
I'm sure there is.
There probably is.
Everything's a love story.
Now we definitely have that in Borderlands 2. Lilith and Roland. Spoiler for anyone that hasn't played Borderlands 2 yet.
Even more shame on you if you haven't played at least Borderlands 2. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
The pre-sequel, though, I'm really excited for it. It's going to be good.
And it's only going to be on last gen. For all of those who might be wondering.
Yeah, they didn't want to
be last gen.
They didn't want to interfere with the fan base that already had the game too much, so they decided to keep it on the old hardware. And it was funny because there was the Gearbox panel on Sunday, and Randy Pitchford was like, "For everyone that sold their 360s, sorry."
Everyone who sold their 360 to buy an Xbox One, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But they looked into it, and the number of fans who bought Borderlands 2 and who also bought an Xbox One was a very small number.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
compared
and
to
I
the
think
overall fan base, so that's why they decided to keep it on a system that they know, you guys are already playing Borderlands 2 on it, so you can play, this on it.
Well, I think with the other part of that too is everyone that's playing or that has played Borderlands 2 and are still really interested in it, they're still coming out with DLC. There's still one more Headhunter pack.
Just came out Tuesday.
Yeah. They announced that PAX and they released it this last week. That's still in the 360. So if you're still interested in Borderlands and you've been interested in all the DLC and you wanted to stay up to date, you still have your 360 and you're still playing Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the DLC for Borderlands 2 is awesome. Especially Tiny Tina's.
Yes. The Assault on Dragon's Keep. That is, if you're a true nerd and you play Borderlands, that is by far the best DLC you could ever download, period.
Yeah, if for some horrible reason you could only pick one DLC, that's the one you need to pick.
That's the one you go for.
Oh my god, it's so funny. And it's the biggest one, too. So you're going to get the most out of your money for getting that one. It's the biggest DLC. Yeah. It's so good.
Although I still, like, compared to, or next to Tiny Tina's, would be Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage, just because of the lines that he has. Is ridiculous.
Mr. Torg.
I love Mr. Torg. He has some of the best dialogue next to Tiny Tina. He really does.
And he has really good dialogue in Tiny Tina's DLC too. So.
Yes, which is why that made me love him even more. Like, I played Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep after the Campaign of Carnage, and it's like, I love Mr. Torg even more.
So great. He's
so great.
Weird old man.
But the thing is, the way that they develop these characters in Borderlands, it's not meant to be super serious. It's meant to be a little more comical, but it's so entertaining.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
It's great. I don't know if I can say anything else about it. It's just I love Mr. Tour.
Yeah, and if you've played Borderlands 1 and not Borderlands 2, just know that, like, I've heard a lot of stuff about Borderlands 1 and how the story was really disappointing. We just said we haven't played it yet, so we haven't experienced that firsthand, but I do know, like, they brought on Anthony Birch to write Borderlands 2, so it's a completely new writer, and believe me, he did a great job. He did a phenomenal job on this game. It's hilarious. Like, if you haven't played it, you're missing out. Like, simply put, you're missing out. Like, I can't believe how funny. It's got a lot of pop culture.
Oh, references. It has a ton of pop culture references.
It's great. Like,
I mean, they are not afraid to blatantly take stuff and put it in the game.
Yeah.
That's how
Rainbow is in the game somewhere. Yes. Like, there's just a whole bunch of silly stuff that already from the internet is in there. Like, you get it right away, and it really just is so funny. The feeling of, like, oh my god, I know this. It's an inside joke. It's like, it makes you feel like you're part of almost like the writing process, because it's like an inside internet joke, and it's just
I don't think they've ever
all the time, like, throughout the whole game. It's great.
Yeah. And I don't think they've ever gotten in trouble for it at all, because I think of how blatant, obviously, it is that they're taking stuff off of other like franchises and other kind of geek culture type things.
Nah, I haven't heard anything. They're fine.
Yeah, but it's definitely Borderlands 2 was a huge turnaround for the story of Borderlands, and Borderlands was kind of it was an interesting setup, and I think the thing that was really appealing for Borderlands 1 was just kind of the game mechanics was never quite done that way, because it was called The Birth. It was FPS and role playing make a baby, I think, was one of their like campaign slogan things. And it was Borderlands, and it was really, at the time, it was an interesting concept that mixed two different genres of games, and it really was something that was unique. Granted, the story was not quite as well fleshed out as it could have been, but I think that's where Borderlands...
When they made the game, they didn't expect that to be the important part to the players.
Right.
They just wanted a game that was funny, had a lot of guns, and you just ran around and shot stuff. But then they found out that the fan base was like, what the frig? Like, what happened with the story? And they were like, oh my god, they actually care about the story. Let's hire Anthony Birch, because he's amazing.
And when they did, they made a fantastic campaign.
They did.
I mean, they have some very, very memorable characters in there. And they incorporated the characters from Borderlands 1 in very well. It was a very smooth transition. So, but yeah, pre-sequel, it's if you're any kind of Borderlands fan at all, it's a must get whenever it comes out. And it comes out later this year. I think it comes out in
this year.
November? It's either October or November. I think it's November.
Did they say?
I think maybe they just said fall.
I thought they just said, like, end of the year. I don't remember.
But yeah, it is coming out this year. We do know that for sure.
Yes, and all of you can be super jealous, because those of us who attended the panel got a code to get the game for free.
Yes!
Suck it!
Although, I think we both talked about this afterwards. It's like, we're both probably going to get whatever collector's edition comes out for this, so we'll probably be giving away our codes at some point.
Yeah, so
when...
Suck it. yeah, we were talking about, like, well, what if they come out with some cool collector's edition?
It's like, well...
Damn it!
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool if they had a 360 that was Borderland themed.
Oh my god!
That would be cool. Like, have some kind of, like, glue chest.
Vault symbol on the side of it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I want this. I want it.
That'd be so cool. I will...
You guys hear us? Randy Pitchford? What's up? Can we have this, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, he may be actually on our show pretty soon.
That's right.
So, after we're really jumping around here, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
After the panel...
From Friday to Sunday, what happened?
It's like, what happened
Everything is a blur.
Yeah. But for real, after the panel on Sunday, they had a signing for the people that were on the panel. So Randy Pitchford was there, Mark Armstrong was there, and a few other the Gearbox staff was there. And I talked to Randy. I told him I was a big fan of Gearbox ever since Halo, and he's like, "Oh, dude, that's really cool. I'm a big fan of yours now." And I told him I do a Halo podcast, and he's like, "Oh, I'd love to come on and talk about it sometime." So I will be reaching out to him this week. I usually give people that I talk with at PAX a week to kind of settle down from all the PAX stuff. So I'll be emailing him this next week and seeing when good time frames are for him, see what he wants to talk about, and that kind of stuff. So he may be on the show pretty soon,
which is awesome.
Yeah. So I may pitch that idea to him when I talk to him.
I wonder if he'll somehow find a way to do a magic trick on a podcast.
That was a wicked cool magic trick.
I was actually like halfway through and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is the longest magic trick ever. Like, I was getting bored. And then like all of a sudden at the end, it was just like, ta-da! And you're like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, I totally, because I mean,
it was good.
Yeah, because I saw the like what was supposed to be the hiding part, but I totally did not expect to see where the phone ended up. But we'll get to that when we get to the panel.
Yeah, anyway,
once we
Friday.
Yes, Friday. Back to Friday. So
Friday.
After we waited in a 3-hour line for Borderlands, we rushed over to the Halo tournament that we signed up right before we went on to the show floor Friday morning.
Ugh.
And we both got knocked out in the first round.
You know, just gonna say, whoever ran that Halo tournament, shame on you.
It was PAX. It was actually held by the enforcers.
It was bad.
It was poorly
a
run.
64-person FFA, but they put 4 people on each little 28-inch TV.
Yeah.
So you're playing split screen 4 people on 28-inch TV.
Mm-hmm.
And my TV, the contrast was messed up on it. So we played on Haven, brightest map in the world, and the contrast was messed up. So it was super bright. Like, it was much brighter than it really should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the other 3 people playing the whole time were just crying about how bright it was. We couldn't see each other until we were like 5 feet away from each other. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I got knocked out right away. We were all like 1 kill away from each other. It was so dead even because we couldn't see anything. It was
I got knocked out from a tie for second place.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had more deaths than the other guy did.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Yeah. I have a very aggressive play style when it comes to Halo. So I tied for second. I guess that's something.
Pretty good.
Something.
Yeah, I depend too much on my ability to see what I'm doing when I play Halo. So unfortunately, I got knocked out.
Well, and it was also I forgot to bring my controller. I had my controller with me and I wanted to bring it, but the controllers there, like,
garbage.
Yeah, they were crappy. I mean, they had stickers on them, so they wouldn't lose them, of course. But like the sticky stuff would come off, and like you could tell the thumbsticks were worn down on some of them. And I had certain situations where I just started sprinting for no reason, just going in and out of sprint. And it's like, okay, now I can't shoot. So thanks for that.
Yeah, my trigger buttons would be kind of like derpy.
Yeah.
I think they're gunking them. I don't know. Blech, it's so gross.
I don't know why Halo does this for Halo 4, but for some reason on LAN, Halo 4 will not count trigger pulls sometimes. Like, it'll totally not register it at all. But it's only on the LAN setting, and it's not in it happens more on the LAN setting instead of matchmaking, which is really bizarre to me.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because not only this tournament like that we just did, I had that happen, but last year at RTX, we had a huge, that's the Rooster Teeth Expo for anybody wondering.
Yep. Which we'll be going to this year.
Yeah, so we had a big Griffball tournament, and I was having the same problem with that too. So
yeah,
I thought it was just, this controller sucks or something, but
no.
Like now that you say that, it does happen a lot. I also did a tournament, like a little small, like Halo 4 midnight release tournament thing, and same thing. But that controller was I bet you it was the controller. Oh my lord, I don't know. You're GameStop. You can't bring a decent controller with you. I don't get it. Anyway.
That's why I always bring my controllers around. I've learned from the MLG folks for the MLG events I've gone to, always bring your controller. Because you don't realize how used you get to a controller until you try another controller and it's like, wow, this totally doesn't feel right.
It's true. You listening, you're probably like, oh, it's just a controller, but it's true. Like,
Yeah.
I was saying the same thing because he was like, oh, I didn't bring my controller. And I'm like, what does it matter? And then we played, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It totally matters.
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, we tried. We didn't do very well, apparently. And we sucked. And then another person that was staying with us, Bill, he tried to sign up, and he didn't even get to play because they didn't write him down in the spreadsheet that they made.
He signed up, he checked in with us, and then they like forgot to put his name in the computer where they were like randomizing the seating or whatever, and then they were just like really rude to him about it. He was like, I checked in with that guy over there. And the guy's just like, oh yeah? Do you see your name here on the computer? Nerd. And he's just like, wow, forget it. So he went and did some, actually, I think he went to the bar and got some beer.
Nice, expensive convention beer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much money you spent on beer that weekend, but it was
$7 a beer. God damn it.
But he had a lot. He had a lot of them too.
He didn't have a lot there.
No, not a lot there, but over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, he
had quite a few. Not. Sorry, I don't mean to put this in a bad light. It wasn't in a bad way. It's not like he was completely drunk and stumbling around. No, he was completely coherent.
Oh yeah.
No, he was fine. He enjoys beer though.
He does. He's like a connoisseur, basically.
Yeah.
He made us go to that rock bottom place because he's like, like he just like he didn't even like read the sign. It's like his soul knew that there was a brewery over there.
Well, we fell in love with that place.
Oh my god, there's a brewery there, and so we had to go to it.
I mean, by the end of the weekend though, we fell in love with that place because they had great food, great environment, and it was. I mean, it's a place to kind of mark on places to go if you're in Boston for a convention center.
Right across the street from the W Hotel.
Yep.
Right near the Courtyard Marriott where we stayed. It's right near the Revere. It's just called Rock Bottom Brewery.
Yep.
And the first night we went, I wasn't too happy because I was sitting right next to the taps and they were smelly. And he's like, it's because I just drained the drain or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, they just drained all the spigots.
Yeah, so I was like,
yeah.
It stinks here. This bar stinks. I don't like it. Wow, I was just whining about it. But then we went back there to eat, and it was actually really awesome.
Yeah. Well, and the bartender was really nice, too, the first night we went.
It was really nice.
Yeah. We struck up a nice conversation with them, and they actually closed early so they wouldn't get all the bar crawlers coming in, which was...
That was from the club next door that kept us up all night. Don't stay at the Courtyard Marriott downtown Boston, by the way.
Did they keep you up, really?
It was, oh my god. It was Sunday night. It was the worst one. Who goes clubbing on a Sunday night, first of all? And it was just all you heard. Like, if I didn't have I bought earplugs, by the way, because all three of us snore
we
ridiculously.
Yeah, we've made the decision that if we're rooming again, which is most likely a possibility if we're going back to Boston, that all of us are getting earplugs.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we do when we go to CVS next time is when we're in Boston. If we don't have them, we're going to CVS and buying earplugs.
But yeah, if I didn't have the earplugs in, all you heard was doosh, 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 like this club right next door. It was so ridiculous. We were on the 11th floor. Come on now.
Although we did it was a pretty decent price though for the hotel.
Yeah.
That was one of the benefits of it, which was, I mean, that's what kind of I was looking for, a nice government discount.
And they didn't charge us extra for their fridge. We didn't have a fridge in our room, so we were just like, oh, let's ask. Maybe they have some, because I knew that some places would charge you extra for a fridge in your room. And they were just like, yeah, if we have one, you can have it. And we're like, sweet. And then, like, they brought it right up. And
yeah. So this is the funny thing. It was this Thursday night when we went out, and because we made the decision beforehand, we're not going to spend a lot of extra money on convention food, and kind of go buy our own things to bring to the convention and save some money that way. So we went to CVS.
A great idea, by the way. Bring snacks.
Yes. I lost 10 pounds over the weekend because of that. Well,
Nice.
partly. But yeah, if you go to a convention like this, it's definitely a lot better to bring your own kind of snacks. So beef jerky, applesauce, trail mix, Pringles, stuff like that.
Yeah, granola bars.
Yeah.
You had a huge bag of trail mix the size
did.
of my head. Which, that was a good idea. So,
Yeah.
have snacks. Buy water. Always have water with you.
Yes.
Please. Like,
Yeah.
you're standing in line for 3 freaking hours and you're thirsty.
Water's a definite. Water's going to be a lifesaver for you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, little PAX tidbits of information that you can take away from our experience. But yeah, so we were at CVS on Thursday, and we were thinking about, wait, we don't have a freshly cold to store cold stuff. So I called the front desk from my phone. And I'm like, yeah, we've checked in. We're in this room. Is there a possibility we can get a fridge? And they're like, yeah, if we have any extra ones, we'll send one up. So we were like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and buy the stuff we were planning to buy. And if they have cold stuff, we'll come back later. So you guys actually stayed in and watched some Pokemon while I went out and got some cold stuff.
Yeah, we did. I thought I would enjoy it a lot more than I did. I was like, yeah, I want to watch the original Pokemon. I used to watch that all the time when I was little. And they watched like 5 episodes, and I was like, no more Pokemon, please.
Well, it was kind of funny because...
Who's that Pokemon?
Yes.
Oh, it's that one we were literally just watching an entire episode.
Yes. But you have to remember, this came out when we were like, what, 12 years old?
Yeah, like 10, 12, yeah.
And I remember absolutely loving the heck out of that TV show, and I'm
Right,
sure
I
you
used
do
to
too.
tape it, like
Yeah.
VHS tapes every day, taping Pokemon. I was like, watch it later.
And you watch it now, it's like, I used to like this stuff? What?
God, Team Rocket, shut up!
Although it is interesting to see how the voices of Team Rocket changed from the second episode or third episode on throughout the series, because they did get better. And I've actually watched all the way through episode 41 of the first season, actually. Because I know it's super dorky, and the acting is terrible. But
it's a cartoon. What do you mean?
It's Pokemon.
The voice acting? Is that what you meant?
Well, I mean, just like all together. Like just how they have the dialogue going and how the characters interact
like
with
how
each other.
cheesy it is?
Yeah, how cheesy it is,
okay.
how overreacting like they have to be in order to convey an idea. It's just like there's a part of me that's like, why the heck am I watching this? And there's a part of me that's like, this is so cool, it's Pokemon.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, I do like Pokemon. I will admit. I was playing it while we were waiting in line.
Yes, you were. So. Yes, you were. I have a picture of that. Which I still need to send you those pictures, by the way.
Please, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the to-do things for this weekend. But yeah, so
what else did we do Friday?
Friday, after the tournament...
Laldement.
We went to... I think we went back down to the show floor for a little bit. We split up, because I went over to look for Cards Against Humanity cards. And they were in the swag bags, and there was actually another person that was kind of orchestrating a trading center of cards. And we actually had something like this happen at PAX Prime last year when they had something similar where you had the packs that were put in the swag bags, and you have to go and trade with people to find them. But someone set up a trading post for these cards, and I was there for about an hour and a half, and I actually ended up with 3 full decks of cards, and I gave you one.
Yep.
And I have one... Yep. And I have one for myself, and I have one for another friend that I'm going to send it her way
Blue?
pretty soon. Yes.
Yay! I like blue.
Yes. So that was a pretty eventful afternoon for me. What did you guys do during that hour and a half, 2 hour time frame?
Well, it was Bill's first convention ever. So,
oh yeah, so this is the perfect time for him to come to PAX because we were waiting in line. Our first activity was waiting in line for 3 hours.
3 hours. Not only that, but like I go away to PAX and RTX. I'm like, oh my god, 343. They're so nice. They have parties and they're super friendly and they give you all this free stuff all the time. It's awesome. Their panels are great. And then like he's finally going to one himself. and they're not there. So like that was already like a huge letdown for him. And then like, we look over the schedule and there wasn't really anything that he was like, "Oh my God, this is something that I really want to do." Like none of it. Bethesda was there. He loves Elder Scrolls Online. They barely did anything with Elder Scrolls Online while they were there. So it was just like,
they had a booth. Like, I think that was about it. I don't even think
there was no Elder Scrolls there. There was some shirts, I guess. Like there was a little bit of merchandise, but it was all about like Wolfenstein and
Wolfenstein and Fallout.
No, there was that other game, the Killer Within or something Within. Yeah, I don't know, some horror game.
Yeah, something Within. Yeah, I'm blanking. Yeah, I'm blanking on it too.
Yeah, I don't know, but so his first time going to a PAX or anything, we get there, we go sign up for a crappy Halo tournament, and then we wait in line we just stand around for 3 hours, and he's like, "Oh, I really want to go look at stuff." Like he really wanted to go and look around, but he was like, "No, I'll stay here with you guys." And then like he likes Borderlands, but he's not a huge fan of it like we are. He's only played it a little bit, and he's more like a first person shooter game kind of guy, or like a Skyrim or stuff like that.
Well, we did get him to play Titanfall.
Oh my God, he loves it.
Does he? Has he been playing since you guys got back?
Yes, he's finally started actually playing it. Yeah.
Now you guys just need to get a second Xbox One.
I know. But yeah, so he's like, "Well, we just stood in line for 3 hours, and then I really, I wanted to play that Halo thing, and I couldn't even play that." So he was really bummed out, and I was like, "Well, let's just go look around, go look at some stuff you want to look at." So we did that. We just looked around at stuff,
Yeah, that's good.
Really liked the various vendors that they have at conventions. Like they have T-shirts and hats and pins and a bunch of weird stuff like that. So that's all we did.
Because if you think of what PAX really boils down to, it's really kind of a trade show for video games and a bunch of nerdy stuff like board games, card games, that kind of stuff. So a big element of PAX is just walking around and seeing what's there. If you're really into the whole trade show type experience where you go around to all the booths and you see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
But for people like you and me, we have a certain set of things that we go to see.
And we are doing this.
Yeah. And most of the time it's been, we have Halo and we go off and do one or two things and that's Halo.
And then we're back to Halo and we're harassing 343 all day long.
We are their volunteer bodyguards. We literally are their volunteer bodyguards. Because whenever there's a Halo thing at a PAX event, you will always see a swarm of community people just like, "Hey, we're helping out in any way possible." And they're like, "Hey, we don't mind the help." And they're like, "Hey," all the people coming by, it's like, "Do you work for 343? It's like, "No, we just have these nice fancy shirts that say 343 on the back of them."
And we're just, hanging around awkwardly.
We may look like we're with them, but no, we're just good friends kind of thing. But no, whenever Halo's there, it's always a great time. But it was also an interesting experience to have, like, experience PAX as PAX too. But yeah, getting back to Friday, after I was done with the Cards Against Humanity trading post, and after I met up with you guys, I think we headed out to the community dinner that we had. It was organized by Molten Sloa. You guys know him.
It's something.
We did?
You skipped the panel that we went to.
That was after... Wait.
No, the panel was from 6:30 to 7:30.
Oh, yeah, the panel was, and then we went...
And we went straight to the dinner after.
And then we came back and we saw okay, that's right. Yeah, so, sorry. Talk about the panel, because it was the one that you wanted to go to, and frankly for me, I didn't... I mean, it was you talk about it.
It was just a molding and crap, I forgot what it was called. But it was like how to make
molding and modeling type thing.
Yeah, for like how to make cosplay stuff like Spartan armor. So it was kind of like a beginner's guide to how to make clay, you make your clay sculpture and then you make the mold on it and all of that. So we sat through that. Maybe one day down the road here we'll start making some complete Spartan armor. I want to make a big gravity hammer. That would be sweet.
You want to be like Jerome with his hammer?
Yes.
Yeah. I want a Spartan costume, and I will make one at some point. Molding and casting for beginners, that's what it was called.
That's what it was. Yeah. And the girl who ran it, she was very entertaining to watch. Like, she made sure that it was an interesting panel. So, I had a good time. And I learned some stuff. So I liked it. I'm glad we went to that.
Good. I know for me, the experience, she got into really specific things, which kind of threw me off because I'm a freaking novice or basically don't know much about the whole modeling, like you or Bill do. So some of this, it would have been nicer if she used a little bit more into generics instead of specifics, because I got a little bit lost in that. But there was some interesting points of like how to use certain materials to make certain things, and that was kind of cool.
Do's and don'ts.
Yeah, lots of do's and don'ts. Ways to make sure that you're still alive when you're done with all your modeling and.
Yep.
Yeah, but I definitely want to make a Spartan armor with a couple of weapons at some point. And, the 405th is also a very good place to do that kind of thing, too.
Yes.
They have a lot of resources there. And I will definitely be hitting them up whenever I go and venture out on my own to do this kind of thing.
Yes, definitely. If making Spartan armor and Halo weapons is, what you want to do, then definitely check out the 405th. Mm-hmm. I think it's 405th.com or something.
I believe so, yes. The 405th.
Yeah.
With the numbers 405.
Yeah,
or just Google it.
You'll find
exactly.
It. And they're great. They are a community built around, people who make these and go to conventions. They go to RTX because they're based around in Texas somewhere, so they always go to RTX. Mm-hmm. And they're very friendly. They were actually in a video of Lindsay Sterling is this adorable violinist who makes adorable music videos. She does Zelda, Halo, and they were in some of her Halo videos that she made for her songs. Or she just plays the music from the games with her violin. It's awesome. She's adorable, and yeah, so they're very active in the community, and they're really cool. They're very nice. They actually had a booth at RTX last year, which was awesome.
Although it was really tiny, and they didn't put much. They didn't put a lot of effort into it. It was mostly just like a place for their people to kind of walk around and stand around for people to come ask questions and take pictures.
Maybe they'll try to do more this year. Like maybe it's a trial run. Maybe this year they'll have more. Maybe they'll print out some info about how to get started with us or
some like a tips sheet or something like that, like a quick facts guide.
Yeah, because whenever they go to a convention, everybody's stopping them. Oh my God, how'd you make this? Did you do this yourself? Blah 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 blah. I'm sure they have lots of questions. So making a booth was a great idea for them, so they could actually have someone stationed to answer all those questions. So if they're walking around and someone asks, they can be like, "Oh hey, we have a booth over there, so go ask that dude." Mm-hmm. He'll totally answer you. You're walking around and looking awesome.
But if you see any kind of Halo production that has Spartans in it or ODSTs, there's a very likely chance that the 405th has some kind of involvement with that. Mm-hmm. Because they're really cool guys. And I got to meet one of the guys that is, I'm not sure what kind of position he holds anymore, but Adam Grumbo. He's really cool. Very passionate about it. He actually does a lot of the photography for the 405th. So he's very talented, very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. And everyone that's cosplays with the 405th, if you're at a convention and you see one of those guys, they are super cool to talk to. They're very passionate about all their project that they've worked on. And it's really cool to see Halo have that kind of a following when it comes to cosplaying. Mm-hmm. So, and if you look at their Facebook group, the 405th, they have basically this panorama shot or this wide angle shot of about, I think, like 14 or 15 different Spartans, like with a rainbow of colors. Like they have some very, very talented people doing these things. So,
I want to make a Fotis helmet.
oh gosh, I think
Someone's making one.
I think someone's
I
out
saw
there.
pictures. Yeah, someone made one.
I think
I saw
so.
pictures on Twitter or something. It looks great. I want it.
But let's see. So after the molding and casting, we went to the community dinner.
Mm-hmm.
That was
It was
hosted.
a delicious legal seafood test kitchen.
Yeah.
Always delicious.
Yeah. Oh. It seems like the one restaurant that we always go to, or at least is the one I've always been to for the last, now 3 PAX Easts. We've gone there at least once.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's actually the first time I met you, which is it's still odd that I've only known you for a year in person. I still find that really bizarre, but
yeah,
still really cool. Still really cool. Back when you were working BigTeamBattle.net before.
Back when it was before I got
we won't talk about those times. The thing. So we were there for about an hour and a half, I want to say. That sounds about right.
There was a good chunk of us there. There was probably 10 of us there, maybe?
I think in total there were 14 people.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a lot of people from HBO was a big bulk of the crowd. So Molten Sloa, Kermit, Mr. Pagaron, I think I always butcher his name.
Mr. P.
I'm sorry if you're listening, Patrick.
Mr. P.
And Goose and Cal were there, obviously. We were there. And we had a good time. We talked about a lot of things with the convention, with Halo. It was a really fun time. We always have a fun time when we're with those group of people.
Yeah, I don't really frequent HBO at all, really, unless I'm promoting something. And but it was really nice to meet them. I've never met them before, and they were all very friendly, very nice. Which is the best part about the Halo community is even if you've never met anybody before, you feel like you click right away with everybody. It's really great. Especially
Molten Sloa. Molten Sloa has this really interesting personality when you meet him for the very first time. It's a little off-putting in some ways, but once you get to know him, he's a really cool, a little quirky dude. But if you get a chance to know him, he is one of the best people to hang out with. He really is.
He is a very good friend. He is super friendly.
He is super nice, super friendly, and just a genuinely good friend.
Yeah, all around really good guy. Good guy, Molten Sloa.
Yeah, we love you, Sloa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and he was the one that organized this dinner event, and he did a very good job of trying to get it. Well, he did his best job he could. People brought a lot of extra.
Apparently.
I know I RSVP'd, you RSVP'd, and I think maybe one other person RSVP'd. And yeah, we had like 2 or 3 times the amount of people show up that RSVP'd, which was ridiculous.
We're just like, oops.
Yeah, we were telling the waitresses, like, we think we have everyone, but we're not sure. And then we made the mistake of not telling the waitress to split the checks before.
The worst part is we did the same thing last year.
I know.
Oh my god, we did not learn. We did not learn. It was ridiculous. They get so mad.
Hopefully next year. Hopefully the third time's a charm and we actually remember what the hell we're supposed to be doing.
But how are you going to look at a huge table of like younger people and really be like, one of those younger people is paying for all of these young... No. Like,
yeah, it's like, no.
I don't know.
I mean, if it's
I'm going to ask these guys and make sure. I don't know.
if it's suit and tie, maybe it would be a little bit safer of a bet to say that everyone's under one tablet because probably a company, like a company thing, like our party on Saturday, which we'll get to. But for like 14 like just random nerdy type people that are in jeans and t-shirts and hoodies and whatnot, you think
a company dinner, someone's got this covered.
Where's Microsoft when you need them? Where's the 343 folks?
Seriously.
But it was a good time. I had a blast, as always. And then after that, we went back to the convention center.
You were going to grab something from your friend, your charger.
Oh,
and you were going to get on a shuttle to go back to the hotel. And your friend happened to be sitting on the Nerdy Jeopardy panel that they had. And
was that? Oh yeah, that's right. So there was let's see what's on here. It's on the schedule. I actually have the schedule up. Game show night. Jeopardy. So he was in there. And we went. I lent him. He's a work friend, so I lent him my battery there, which I got some pretty cool gadgets for going to PAX this year for all my future conventions, which really made doing some of the things during the convention a lot easier. But I let him borrow the battery, and we went, and he was done with it, so we went to go pick it up. We stayed in the Jeopardy area for a while,
which was pretty entertaining, actually.
Yeah,
like we kind of got up and left like 5 minutes later, but we were like, no, let's stick around and watch this because it's actually really funny, and I know some of the answers.
Yeah, we were kind of like talking back and forth between each other, like what the answers were possibly, and I think you probably got more right than me or Bill did.
I say, I know stuff and things.
Yay. Good reason to have you on the show then. Things and stuff. So we were there, and then after that was done,
went to that 8-bit.
Was that
music.
Friday or Saturday night?
It was right after that.
Okay.
Shot over there, and
so for the people that have been fans of the show for a while, you know Damien Lacedaemon, who is the producer behind This Spartan Life.
You know what? You're right. That wasn't that night. That was
yeah,
Saturday
I thought that was Saturday night.
Never mind.
So, but I remember distinctly being Saturday because it was this day where we were kind of the most tired, and you and
I had my hands were full of bags because we went on a shopping spree that day. Anyway.
And yeah, there were not particularly kind looks when I mentioned, "Hey, I have this friend." It's like we're tired, we want to go home.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that on Saturday. But let's see. So we went home Friday. We went to Rock Bottom. That was the first time we actually went to Rock Bottom. Was Friday night after we got back to the hotel. We got some drinks. We were up. I think we were there until they closed, which was about midnight. And then we walked around the area to find pizza, of all things.
Oh my God.
I think we walked around for like about 20 minutes.
It was like 12:30 at night, and I was just like, I really want pizza. So
yeah, and we
walked all over looking for an open pizza place, and the one that was open happened to be like 3 doors down from Rock Bottom.
Yeah, so, it's
thanks Google Maps.
Yeah. I pulled up Google Maps. We went to like 2 or 3 different places, and then we saw someone walking down the street with a big pizza box, and we're like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" It's like just this place right around the corner. So we went there, and it's like New York style pizza, although it wasn't warm at all.
Oh my God, yeah, they didn't warm it up for some reason. Apparently, you have to specially ask. I want my pizza warm, thanks. They were huge pieces.
They were freaking.
They were huge pieces.
They were almost like quarter-sized pieces of pizza.
Seriously, no joke. Like it was like a 12-cut pizza cut into 4 pieces.
Yeah,
and I got 2 because I'm retarded. I was like, I'm hungry, and then I tried eating them, and I was like, why did I do this? So then our hotel room smelled like pizza all night because I just put it on the floor and went to bed.
It kind of did.
I should have put it out in the hallway, like be one of those people. Right?
But we got home. We got to the hotel around.
Our home.
Yeah, well, our home for the weekend, pretty much. Around 1 o'clock, and then we sat down and I think we chatted for a little while, and then we turned on Futurama.
Yeah, the last season of Futurama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I actually hadn't seen. I guess I didn't
either, so
watch after season 9. So yeah, we started watching season 10 of Futurama on Netflix, which strangely enough, and this is a funny story. The hotel internet was actually pretty good, and the last night, well, actually, I guess it was that night because that was the night I launched up Titanfall for the first time. But
we played Titanfall Sunday night.
We played it Sunday night, but I like just started it to get the HD content installed just to see it running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
On Friday night. So we did that and checked the server ping. And my ping here in Maryland has been like 18 milliseconds. At the hotel, which is kind of bizarre for a hotel internet, it was 22 milliseconds.
You want to know what mine is on a regular basis? At my house? 44.
We have hotel internet. Well, you do live out in a little more rural part of
Egypt? Yeah. I live upstate New York.
Yeah.
In farmland. Heard sirens going off when people call 911 because I live in Silent Hill. Yeah, so like the internet isn't that great up here. 44 on a regular basis. Ugh.
But yes, we had hotel internet that was better than Vanny's internet. And I actually downloaded the dashboard update over the hotel internet too.
It went really fast.
Yeah, it went a lot faster than we anticipated. But I bought a travel router for that trip too, and that made things so much easier because you would only have to log in once. I would have to pull up my tablet or my computer to actually get through the access gateway that the hotel had. But once I did that, we could connect any device to the travel router and it would get through. So that was a blessing to have because I think you guys put your phones on it. I put my Xbox on it, my laptop on it, my tablets, my phones, and that was really handy to have. So one of my little tech gadgets for conventions now that I will always bring with me is that little travel router. And the thing is tiny and it's so lightweight. It's like, I think like maybe 8 or 9 ounces, which is ridiculous how small technology is. But anyways, I digress. That was pretty much the end of Friday night then, was us falling asleep to Futurama.
An hour and a half later. So that was Friday.
Yes, that was Friday. We may have to kind of speed run through the rest of this stuff. Saturday morning.
Since we ventured so much onto the other days, I think that should be pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, we ventured on to Sunday a lot. I don't think we covered Saturday too much because there was some. We had the Titanfall panel on Saturday, but I guess we talked to them on Sunday, actually. So, but Saturday morning we woke up really late. I think we woke up at 10 o'clock because we were up so late watching Futurama.
Yeah, and there was nothing going on the entire day that we were really like interested in going to see until 4:30 was the Titanfall panel. So we were like, oh, what are we gonna do all day?
Right. So we got up. We couldn't go get the continental breakfast at the hotel because we woke up so late.
Woke up so late. Too late for breakfast.
Yeah. But hey, we had stuff to snack on at the hotel, so it was smart of us to go to CVS.
Yeah. I had some granola bars.
Was that the day that you ate his Pringles?
No, that was the night
Sunday?
before.
Yeah, night before.
They were delicious, by the way.
I'm sure they were. They were his Pringles.
I could have some.
So we went to the aquarium actually on I guess Saturday afternoon. By the time we actually got there.
Aquarium.
Which
was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was I'm so glad it was so nice because we really wanted to go, and it was like the nicest day of us being there, so it just worked out really, really well.
Yeah, it was for PAX. I think the weather-wise, this is the best PAX I've been to so far. The PAX East, sorry. Because last year it was freezing. It was freezing in snow. There was snow on the ground.
It was so cold last year, but it was still in March last year.
Yeah, it was towards the later end of March for last year. But the weather was beautiful. I mean, it was almost shorts and t-shirt weather.
It was shorts and t-shirt weather. There were people with shorts and t-shirts on.
It was really nice, though. And the aquarium was really pretty good. The only other aquarium I've really been to is the one in Albuquerque. Because that's where my grandparents used to live. But this one was actually pretty cool. They had the bottom floor, they had 3 different sections of penguins, which was really cool to see them kind of playing around. And then they had different kind of themes on every different level. And there was this big cylindrical tank in the middle with a spiral ramp going around it that you could walk up, which had some pretty cool fish in there as well.
Yeah, it was an amazing aquarium. It's literally a huge cylinder that goes from the bottom floor and it goes up like 4 or 5 floors, just one huge tank, and you just walk around it.
Yeah. And it looks like they had platforms at the top where divers could go in and do demonstrations or kind of show off some things or get video too. So I'm guessing they have some kind of shows or events there, maybe more towards the summer months. But there was a giant sea turtle in there.
A couple of them. Huge.
And there were some pretty interesting looking fish too that I hadn't really seen before.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish. Some pretty little fish, some big ugly fish.
Your shy purple and yellow fish.
Oh my god, he was so cute, but he kept hiding whenever we tried to take a picture.
I think I got a few. I'll have to check.
But then, like, other than that big tank, they had a couple of tanks. Not just a couple, they had a lot of tanks lined up along the walls, too. It just had, like, different environments in them. And, you know, there was starfish and jellyfish and turtles and frogs and snakes in some places.
Yeah, they had some jellyfish ones. They had some deep sea ones. They had some tropical rainforest type environments. But there were a few of the ones that I looked at where I was expecting a little more. Like it seemed like they didn't have the areas filled out, or they just didn't have as many animals to put in them.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it.
There was a lot of seals too.
Yeah, they had a pool of.
Yeah, right out front by where you buy your tickets to go in the aquarium, you can go over and see some seals right there. Like, you don't even have to pay and go inside. But then if you do pay and go inside and you go out the back door, there's a huge area with a ton of seals, and there's some big old fluffy ones and some little slinky ones, and it was really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because are they sea lions or are they actually seals?
I think they were seals.
Okay. Because the
sea
ones
lions are way uglier.
Oh, that's true.
Freaking ugly. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Oh no.
I'll look it up here.
They were seals.
I'm pretty sure they were seals. They were seals. Okay, I just looked it up. Yeah, they're seals. But the ones outside, like, they were swimming upside down, and there were a few that were doing like routines.
Oh yeah, he was on a loop.
Yes.
Like a rope, like Bender getting stuck in a loop. He was just in a circle, swim upside down, go back to where I started. Swim upside down, go back to where I started.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
I think you and me ended up making sound effects for some of them.
We did.
We
should have recorded it. It was
it was a fun time though. And you guys picked up some stuff. I didn't pick up anything at the aquarium, but it was cool just
the tank top. Oh my god, I forgot. Where did I put it? Oh, I know where it is. It's so cute. I got a tank top, and I got some saltwater taffy in an adorable little bag with a seal on it.
Yay.
And he got a water bottle with a turtle on it and some other stuff.
Cool. And Bill was very knowledgeable. I didn't know before we were going into the aquarium that he was wanting to be a marine biologist before, but he was very knowledgeable about a lot of the stuff there. So he was
extremely interested in it when he was in like elementary school. Like, he started that young. He was very into sea life and sharks and all that.
So he was cool to have around and explain, like, actually have him explaining some of the stuff was a lot more engaging than actually just reading the plaques.
We're just walking around being like, there's fish in this one, and there's look, fish in this one.
Oh, and I found Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
I found Nemo. And Dora.
He was hiding in the anemones.
Yes. I don't even try saying that. It gets confusing. It's a nice tongue twister. Anemones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was early Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon.
Then we went to Quincy Market.
Yeah, and that place. Oh my gosh!
He did not know what he was getting into. It was awesome. He was just like, oh my god, and he could, like, he's like 100 feet tall, so he could actually see over everybody.
I'm not 100 feet tall.
Down Quincy Market.
I'm not 100 feet.
Oh my god.
But seriously, I don't know how many of our listeners are from Boston or have been to Boston. I know we have some Boston listeners, but I didn't even know this place existed. And it's like literally a half mile of restaurants that you could eat at. And different kinds of cuisine from...
Cupcake.
Oh, don't...
So bad.
There were a lot of pastry and dessert places I wanted to stop by that I was like, I'm gonna basically just pass out from sugar high if I go to all these places.
Yeah, Bill ended up getting a lobster roll at some place down at the other end, and me and you backtracked it all the way to where we started and got these delicious
Barbecue sandwiches.
barbecue brisket subs. I couldn't finish mine. They're so good.
They were good, and I mean, there's plenty of places where I know for me, if I keep on going to PAX East, I could go to a different place every time I'm there for PAX East, pretty much.
Like the next 50 years. That's how many places are in that place.
Yeah, depending if PAX stays there after their 10-year deal with Boston or but yeah, if I'm going there for 50 years, yeah, I'll definitely run out of places and I'll have to visit new one or revisit some of them, but there's a lot to choose from, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were maybe a total of, I want to say, maybe 100 different shops there that you could buy food from.
All different kinds. There's Asian food, there was barbecue, pastries, there was juice bars, there were salad places, sandwich places.
Grills, burgers, hot dogs.
Italian, Mexican.
Oh yeah, Mexican. Yeah, there's some good enchilada places. Burrito. So, yeah, I had no idea what I was getting myself into for that.
But it was cool.
Oh, it was a blast, and I definitely want to go back.
But we would have stayed longer, probably. We went and got them cupcakes, but we had to get back to the convention center because the line for Titanfall was about to start. And we did not want to get poopy seats, so we had to go back. And
we went to, there's a PAX Lines that's officially for PAX that they tweet out updates for big line events to the main theater and some other things that they hold sometimes. And we got a tweet I received a notification for a tweet that they were starting the line at 2:30. It's like, okay, well, we need to wrap up at the aquarium, so we went out to the market, and then kind of on the way over, they said, there was a tweet that said, oh, we're doing it at 2:45 instead. So it's like, okay, so we have a little more time to sit down and do stuff. And then I think on our way back over, it's like, the line is starting for lining up for Titanfall, and it's 2:30. It's like, wait, what?
Make up your minds. Why are you toying with our lives?
But we got there, and we were still in very near the front of the line.
Yeah, we ended up second row, I think, didn't we?
I think it was fourth row. Third or fourth row.
I think we were second row for Titanfall, and then we were like third or fourth for...
Oh, okay, that's right. So, it was, we actually sat down and played Cards Against Humanity for about an hour. Well, no, sorry, we didn't, that was
Sunday.
Wrong day, that was Sunday.
Saturday, we played Gin Rummy.
Yeah, we played Gin Rummy and we played Sevens.
I'm amazing at, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew.
And I was amazing at Sevens.
Yeah, that game's stupid.
You did win one. You finally won one on Sunday, which was good.
Years later.
What? It wasn't years. What are you talking about? Silly Vanny.
Anyway, we went to the Titanfall panel.
Which was amazing.
On everyone's seat, there was a sweet little patch. I don't remember which one it was, because we have a couple.
It was the IMC one.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it kind of...
That's why we have you on the show.
Yay. The useless details that I remember.
Useless? Because, I needed to shut up. Anyway.
So after we got those patches, though, we found out... We knew that they were giving away patches at the Titanfall display at the Xbox booth. What we didn't know was that there was a different patch for every day.
Every day, which we already missed Friday at that point. I was so mad.
It's like, and then when we went there Sunday to actually play and get the next patch, it turns out that they were handing out a different set of patches at the NVIDIA booth where they were showing off Titanfall as well. So it's like, oh great. So we missed basically 4 different patches we could have gotten.
No, I'm so mad. And pins. They gave away a different pin every day.
Oh yeah. At the
Titanfall booth.
It's like, You could have at least put a tweet out about this.
I know, like, I use the Atlas Titan the most right now, and that was the one that we missed. I'm so sad.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the militia one to go with the IMC one that we got at the panel.
No, the pins were just Titans. The patches were, like, militia and stuff.
Yeah, but I wanted to get one of the militia patches, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been cool to have an IMC one and a militia one. Because I think the militia one was being handed out on Friday.
You know what I found out, too? They had a signing. They had a Titanfall signing. Just like they had a Borderlands signing.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Why? Was it on schedule? Because if it was, I'm blind. And yeah, so we missed out on the Titanfall signing. Sad face.
I remember seeing it. I thought we had something else going on.
I don't know.
I'm looking back to the schedule, and I'm not exactly remembering if we actually had anything.
I don't think we had anything else that night except for the party, but that was way later. I think it would have been right after the panel, so...
Well, actually, I'm looking on the schedule. I don't... was the signing on Sunday?
It was... I don't know when it was. I just saw pictures of them having a signing. They had posters and...
Yeah, because I saw a picture for that, too. I don't see the signing on the main schedule. Maybe that's why we missed it.
Dang it. Yeah, I'm really bummed. Because they had, like, special posters that they were signing for everybody.
Yeah, but in a way, we did get a better end of the deal, and we got to talk to them on Sunday after they were done playing on the show floor.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talk to them in a way that I don't think many other people would have gotten to talk to them. So
we'll get to that when we get to Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday. But
back
the
to Saturday.
Titanfall panel. For those of you who like Titanfall, they just they talked a lot about how they worked on the game, basically, like from beginning where there was barely anything. They had an office and they had nothing to work with, really. They had some chairs and they had no actual program to start programming the game on yet. It was just like trying to come up with an idea to make a game with, and their struggles in the beginning, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, they had pictures of their first day at the office as them literally in a circle of chairs with no internet in this room that had no furniture or anything. Like they were literally starting from the ground doing...
Yeah.
But to see them get this far and to see them come out with a game that is as popular as like some of the other games out there, it just goes to show like how good of a team that Respawn Entertainment has become.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they talked a lot about the upcoming stuff as well. So they announced their first DLC pack, which is coming out pretty soon.
Next month.
Yeah, and it has some pretty cool maps in it.
There's a really cool swamp map.
Yeah. I'm looking up the names right now because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's like trees, and you can run around the trunks of the trees. Like,
I'm really interested to see how that works.
Yeah.
Because
and they're gonna have zip vine. They call them zip vines, like the zip lines they have already. And I don't know if they're actually vines or if that was just a funny that they were throwing around there. But
they probably are vines because the one forest type map. I'm still pulling up the names here. Is supposed to be kind of that rainforesty type of setting, but it's the Expedition DLC. That's what it's called. So I believe this one is going to be $9.99, or if you have the season pass. Yeah, thank you. The season pass, you get it for free with the season pass, and all the stuff that comes with updates, though, those are still going to be free. So game type updates, just general patches and whatnot, they said that kind of stuff is going to be free. So like most of the stuff that we get with updates to Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield,
like all stuff like that.
Yeah, all the like the only DLC stuff that they've really focused on having to pay for is the maps. I think the guns thing that they mentioned is they said that was going to be free.
Yeah.
As well. Which they actually hinted at some guns that they're going to release. I wish I wrote them down. But But yeah, they touted off some gun ideas that they were toying with. And one of the things about the Respawn folks, which I mentioned when we did our Titanfall show, but one of the things that they continue to do, and I think a lot of developers need to take a hint from what they're doing, is they've been completely relatable to the community. They've been open with them, I think a lot more so than any other studio that I've seen. I mean, they were like questioning whether they should talk about stuff or not, and they said, "Sure, go for it." Like they didn't have really any anything legal to hold them back. Saying
because they're not like 343 where they
Right.
have Microsoft breathing down our neck kind of in a way where they have to be very tight-lipped and like extremely like I don't want to use the word professional, but that's the only thing I can think of right now. But they have to be really like, we can't say this, but we can say this, and make sure you don't say this.
Yeah.
Like Respawn, the only people in charge of them is them. So,
Right.
Justin Hendry, who was on the panel, he's a game designer. He kept saying he kept going to say stuff, and he kept going like, oh, and then he'd look over and be like, can I talk about this? And they're just like, fucking go ahead. Yeah. Talk about all the things.
Well, and they're so
like, but anything you say.
And they're so excited to talk about it too, though. That's one of the cool things that they're really passionate to really tell people about. It's not like they want to keep secrets. It's like they want to let people know that this is coming. They don't
you
care.
can tell that they like their own game. Like they like playing their own game. They're excited about it. And
except after the 3 days when everyone else has played and they get their butts kicked.
Yeah, they said that it was really great when the beta first started, and they were just going in there dominating. And then within a couple days, you got people like Game Sager and the community just friggin' figuring out the mechanics of the game down to a T and just crapping on everybody in sight. And then they're just like, oh.
Yeah. Didn't Justin say that after his first loss, he was like, nope, I'm done?
Oh, he was like, nope. Nope.
It's like, no more for me. I'm done playing the beta.
Never lose.
But it's really cool to see them put out that kind of effort to really interact with the community and not feel like they have to hold anything back. Now, there's probably a few things where it's like, yeah, we want to keep this private, but it's not something where they have the attitude of, we have to keep this a secret. We can't tell anybody. It's more like, if it gets out, then we'll say whether it is or not. Because whenever the leaks came out about Titanfall back during the alpha and the beta stuff, they didn't come out and all out deny it. They kind of let it sit for a little while, and then they either confirmed or denied it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's a very interesting standpoint to take compared to a lot of other game developers out there, especially for us personally, because we're such big Halo fans, especially for 343, because they have Mother Microsoft looking over them, and there's all this legal stuff going on behind the scenes, and they're really uptight. Halo, unfortunately, has kind of transitioned from the Bungie days where there's a lot of community camaraderie, even though there was a good amount of secrecy, but there was a lot more trust between the community and developers, where the developers in the community have really strained and kind of segregated in a way with 343 taking over, which is, it kind of sucks. I know that we have good rapport with a lot of the folks at 343, but I mean, and Vanny, tell me if I'm wrong here, but whenever you talk to those guys, it always seems like they're always having to watch what they say.
Yeah, that's
which kills conversation.
Hits the nail on the head. Yeah.
But with
now,
Titanfall,
don't get us wrong. Like, we know that like the people who work hard at 343, it's not. They don't want to be like that. We know that they don't want to have to be like that, but they have to be like that, and like it's hard for them, and it's hard for us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's not like it used to be. It's a lot more difficult now to just be able to just talk about stuff.
But it is nice to see that Respawn is setting hopefully a new trend to come out and really be chill with the community, be not acting in a way where it's like, oh, we have to keep the secret. It's like, it's just kind of general pal talking. It's like, if something slips, then something slips, and they'll deal with it afterwards. It's not something where if something slips, then there's a bunch of legal repercussions afterwards. It's a really nonchalant, just type of conversation that you get to engage with these people.
Yeah,
and we got to
when we got to talk to them, it was like we were just talking to our friends from back home. Like that's how comfortable they were with talking with us and how friendly they were and open they were. It was a very pleasant experience to get to talk to them like that and see they were just real people. They didn't have to act like scared to talk to us. They didn't have to act like robots or anything. They were just people, and they were fucking awesome people.
Yeah. No, definitely. They were really, really fun to talk to, and like I talked to you guys may know Sledge from Respawn. I got to talk to him after the panel, and he's also interested about coming on and talking to us as well, because we had the big Titanfall show back when Titanfall came out, and I told him about our show, and I said I would love to have him on, and he seemed right on board with it too. And those guys are just like genuinely just like open-minded, friendly. Excited. Yeah. I mean, they're excited for their own game.
Just like, oh my god, totally! And then he just jumps right into his backpack and finds a card and gives you his card. And
yeah, well, and everyone at Respawn, you can tell that they're not used to the limelight, because everyone was just like, yeah, they're like eyes are glazed over from just like how excited people are for Titanfall and all the stuff that they're doing, and it's just really cool to see people in that position be starstruck in that manner. It's like, wow, we really did something cool that people really enjoy.
Well, they even went so far to say as like before E3, there were people in the studio working on the game that were still like a little reserved in their excitement for the game. They were still a little scared about how it was going to be received. And then they went to E3 and
it blew up.
They presented the game, and then in to their little booth or whatever they had there, just here's a medal, you won this. Oh, okay, cool. Hanging on the wall over the door. Okay, here's like 59 more medals of you winning things. Like they
weren't expecting it.
Nothing that could have prepared them for that. I mean, brand new studio, people from Infinity Ward and working on God of War and all these other games, and they're all collaborating to make something completely new, completely different, and not only different than what we have to play now, but different from what they sought out idea-wise to start making in the beginning. Like, they really just didn't know how we were going to receive this game, and then they walk away from E3 with 60 medals of them just winning. Like, could you imagine? Just think about that for a second. How amazing that had to have felt for them.
I mean, that's going from like 0 to 60 in an instant.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the small developer working on a game that they're not sure how it's going to turn out, and then they take it to the biggest show in gaming, and they win all of these medals.
Yeah.
They go from a no-name to everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yes. Overnight sensation. Titanfall. Respawn. Like,
exactly.
Awesome.
But it's cool to see that kind of thing happen to a new studio. It usually takes a lot of time for developers to really get a good sense of how to develop a game and like tweak certain things. It's like, okay, we're starting out with this. Like a lot of the series that we know of kind of start off with a relatively good game, and then it builds progressively. Like Borderlands, Mass Effect, BioShock, they all have certain platforms that people get interested in, but then they just keep building. Whereas with Titanfall, it's like we almost got the full package.
Seriously, yeah.
Minus the campaign, which people have.
Some people
have
like
issues
it because it's new.
Well, and campaign wasn't the forethought of Titanfall development. Titanfall was designed to be the multiplayer experience, and they wanted to tack on the campaign aspect to give a little meaning of why you're fighting. And it wasn't something that, we're dedicating a lot of time and resources into making a fully fleshed out campaign. No, that wasn't their idea. Their idea was to provide some story to give some context that if you wanted to go through and play, then you could, and you get some dialogue and narration. But I feel that with the next Titanfall game, if a lot of people do show interest in the story, then they'll probably take the time to really work on some of the backstory behind the game. And Battlefield traditionally has been a multiplayer game. It didn't always have campaign. I think it was only until like Bad Company 2 where, at least on the PC, Battlefield was a multiplayer only game. You can buy games that are single player only, like Fallout, BioShock, and they're still like retail $60 games. Same thing. You could do the same thing with multiplayer. A lot of people have the argument, at least I've heard, that why are you charging 60 games for a multiplayer only experience? It's like, well, why are people charging $60 for a single player only experience? I mean, for those kind of single player experiences like Red Dead Redemption, you maybe get 36 hours before DLC comes out, unless you want to play it over again. But with multiplayer games, how many hours of entertainment do you get? You get a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So it's like $60, it makes sense.
Plus, have you seen this game?
Exactly.
Well, we'll spend $60 on this game.
You get to fight in freaking giant robots.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, I could talk hours for how good this game is. But you know what's funny? I wanted to add on to the whole campaign thing. Actually, I think it was in I'm gonna skip forward a day here. The Borderlands signing that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got Xbox Magazine a couple of weeks before it comes out. There's a Titanfall article in there, and I think it was in that article, I'm not 100%, but they actually talk about the fact that they talked themselves into a corner with the campaign, I think. They said in an interview somewhere that they were going to make a campaign that was multiplayer based, and they actually didn't even have it figured out or anything like that yet, and they were just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to be creative and figure that out. So that's part of the reason why it is the way it is, I think. Don't quote me 100% on that. I'm not sure where I read that anymore. It could have been in the strategy. If you get the limited edition strategy guide, it's got a whole bunch of extra interviews with the staff and Respawn. And actually, if you like Titanfall, I highly suggest getting the limited edition strategy guide if you can, because it's very freaking cool, and you get some cool lithographs in it, by the way, of the Titans.
Yeah, I need to pick it up. I know I have the premium guide. I don't know if that's the same thing though.
It's Prima, yep. And it's actually it's got pro tips from some very familiar Halo MLG pros.
Indeed, it does.
For those of you who might know, Walshy,
Strong Side,
Flame Sword.
Yep.
Yeah,
those guys. It's like, and it is. I think that's one of the kind of testaments to how successful and fun Titanfall is we have Halo pros going in, and before the game was even released, they were going in and making strategy guides because of how good the game was. And a lot of people,
because they have a Prima strategy guide contract, but I'm sure
still,
part of it is the fact that Titanfall is amazing, and they wanted
definitely, to be a part. Yeah. And you have to think of just how they get interested in that kind of thing, and just take the popularity of Titanfall as it is currently, or kind of how it came out before the game came out. The popularity, how it kind of spread. It didn't spread with tons of ads from the developer. A lot of it was done through community just talking about it, word of mouth. Yeah, which is almost unheard of these days, because there's a lot of campaigns to promote games. I mean, for Halo 4, they spend a lot of money on promoting that. Yeah, but with Titanfall, it's just like the hype was built by the community. Like the developers, I think I can't remember if this was in the panel or if this was us talking to them afterwards. I think it was with
to Abby.
Yeah, but they only put out one piece of promotional material, and the rest was done by third-party like news outlets like GameSpot or IGN, and then it was community word of mouth. They only put out one promotional piece of work. That's it. And that's a testament to just how
Titanfall exploded.
Yeah. Exactly. That's just
I
a
mean,
testament
like,
to how.
and you know what's funny is personally, I am not a mech person. Like mech games, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're in a robot and you shoot things and then you walk around and you're a robot. Like that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Never really been my thing. But watching the promotional things for Titanfall, it was such a beautiful game, and just it was totally different than all those other mech games. You know, like
Yeah.
sure you're in a Titan, which is a big mech, but it's just so different.
And it flows so well. The controls were super easy to pick up. Like I got into the closed alpha, and like it was smooth as ice to play on the controller. It's like I picked it up within one game. I was maneuvering like anyone else could, and I like my first few games on Titanfall, I beat the crap out of people. And it was just that easy to pick up the game.
It's
I think
like silk. The controls.
Oh my gosh.
Smooth. The graphics, the way that you move, your Titan moves, the speed of the game. It's a really fast game.
Yeah.
Like,
and I had
extremely fast paced, but it's so smooth. Everything is just silky and flawless, and it just flows. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. Like
No.
you don't even understand.
and I had issues with the Xbox One controller when it first came out, like playing with Call of Duty, Battlefield, Peggle, and I really thought the thumbsticks were really sensitive, but after like when Titanfall hit, it's like, oh wow, this actually works.
Made for it. Oh my god.
Yeah. And they even came out with a controller update. That was the reason behind the controller update, is because the Titanfall folks said this is things that need to change, and that made it even a little bit better. It's very minute changes that they made, but it makes it even a lot better experience with the controller. And it was amazing to see how easy it was to pick up. And I wasn't planning on buying Titanfall at all. I was still a little skeptical because I hadn't played it for myself. And I got into the closed alpha, and literally after the first night I was done, I went and pre-ordered the freaking collector's edition.
I'm so jealous.
I put out a tweet and I said, "Titanfall, take my money." I tweeted the Fry thing of "shut up and take my money." It's like I understand it now. I get why Titanfall is so amazing.
I really wish I got that. Maybe I'll try to get it. So if there's any out there.
I think last time I checked, Amazon still had some.
Ooh.
I'm checking now, so.
We got the Elder Scrolls Online Collector's Edition. So
that thing looked pretty cool.
Sitting next to the computer, it's so cool.
Nice.
And we got the Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition also.
Sweet.
You're like,
that's
play Dark Souls.
I don't play Dark Souls, but yes, the Xbox One version of the Collector's Edition is available on Amazon.
For only $5 million.
For
How much is it?
$250.
All right.
I'll show you the statue afterwards. It's really, really nice.
But yeah, so Titanfall panel, they...
Oh yeah, back to that.
This is the worst tangent podcast ever.
Well, this is a PAX special, so it's going to be full of tangents anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, back to the panel. They announced the DLC. The maps are... I just had it. Dang it.
Well,
that's War Games. Okay, one... War Games is one of the maps, and that's actually... if you play Titanfall, you know the training area where you get to learn how to jump and use all the mechanics. Well, that's going to be one map. So basically think of like a giant rooms of that and mazes of that. So that's what you're going to get. Not the outdoor stuff, the indoor stuff. Swampland is one. That's the one where it's alien ruins, trees that you get to wall run on. Lots of foliage. That's your
trees,
zip vines.
Zip vines.
Zip vines.
Yep.
And then
this a thing. Hashtag zip vines.
Hashtag zip vines. And then Runoff was the last one. And that's mostly a water map.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So those are going to be really cool.
I want to see that water one. I want to see that.
Well, the only one they showed off was Swampland. I think that was the only one we got pictures for.
Yeah. It was
But
pretty. It looks kind of like a Cambodian temple or something with
yeah,
swamp and it was very pretty. And I don't know if you've played Titanfall, you know that they already make even the ugliest little shanty towns pretty. So imagine what they're gonna do with a temple and jungle.
well, imagine the different kind of wildlife they can put in there.
Ooh.
Maybe. So that's coming next month. So I'm excited for that.
They also mentioned on the panel like how much they take community feedback and listen to the things that we say, like, oh, it'd be really cool if we could do this or if you could add this, blah blah blah. Which, before I get into what they kind of hinted at, I don't know, you should, if you play, you should already notice that they have custom lobbies. They
private
right
matches.
They're right now they're like bare minimum. They're just there. You can't really tweak the game types or anything yet, but they're working on that. They all
you can select his map and game type right now.
Yeah, so
but still,
I just wanted to get it out for us.
Yeah, and I know it's something that's everyone's been asking for, and it's nice to see them. And the way they're doing this is kind of interesting though, because they're really establishing a baseline for the game, and then they're going to the community. It's like, okay, we have this out there. We know you guys love it. From other experiences that you've had, what else do you think would be good in our game?
Yeah. So, like, yeah, we wanted that. They got it out to us as soon as they could, and they're still tweaking it. So, down the line, we're going to be able to have more options and things for private matches.
It says beta on the menu whenever you go to it. So, it's beta for a reason, people. Yeah.
It does say beta. I
bet that's the thing that they were testing, because there was that beta playlist before PAX. I'm wondering if that's what they were testing, was the private matches.
The beta was for testing better skill level matching for matchmaking games.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
They incorporated it into attrition and hardpoint last I knew.
But to something that you just said there similarly, they did mention that they're working on ranks, skill ranks.
Yes, and getting us a way to look at our stats and things, like maybe in an app or on something like Waypoint, but hopefully a lot better than Waypoint. God, please God.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, but so they hinted at some other suggestions that community had, like maybe having our symbol on our Titan, kind of like you can do
custom
on your
icons.
Spartan in Halo.
Yep.
People have been requesting something similar in Titanfall, so maybe, hopefully, if awesomeness prevails,
I thought they said that was coming out. I thought they said that was a for sure thing coming.
Oh, okay.
Or at least that's how I understood it.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty soon, hopefully, we'll be able to put our personalized symbols on our Titans. I think it'd be cool also if we could change,
put it on like a patch for your actual pilot.
That would be cool. Yes, that would make sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could alter like the color of our Titans too, it'd be kind of funny running around as like a big pink Titan.
A big pink Titan. That'd be cool.
I don't know if they'll do that, though.
Although I think with because they do still kind of identify the colors to signify who's on your team and who's not. Because the IMC is a lot more silver tone, and the militia is a lot more of the camo tone.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how much they would allow you to shift that visually.
True.
But if they can make it to where a sizable amount can be customized without affecting your ability to determine if it's a friendly or not, I think they would definitely try to pursue that kind of avenue.
Now, I did notice that they mentioned changing the color of people on your team, like in the lobby and in the game. Now,
similar to how they do it in Battlefield.
I thought that they were going to make it so that like anybody in a party, like even on the other team, it would show like they were in a party somehow, but that's not what they did. All they did was change the color of the people who are in your own party to like a green color.
Yeah, and I understood it as how they kind of do it for Battlefield, because I know for that you have your allies are blue, your enemies are red, but then you have a different for everyone
that's on the map, like on the mini map.
Yeah.
On your radar. Yeah.
And on names when they pop up too.
Yeah.
So I think it's something similar to that.
Yeah.
And they have the same thing in Call of Duty, where the people in your party are a slightly different tint of blue than you, or whatever team color you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were gonna make it so that you could see if the people on the other team were in a party together or not. But yeah, it's only for your own party. So maybe they'll do that down the road or something. That would be pretty cool. I'd like to know, because honestly, I've played maybe 130 matches total of Titanfall so far. I'm only like a Gen 2. I just turned Gen 2 last night.
Yay!
Woo, I did it!
Yay!
But out of those like 130 games, I've only played maybe 10 of them with anybody else. The rest of them were just solo with randoms.
Okay, we're playing together a lot more from now on. We're going to tag team a lot more from now on.
Okay, but that's cool though, because Halo 4, I can't play more than a couple games of that by myself.
That's a very good point.
Frustrated and it's not fun and I stop playing. I love Halo, but I can't play a lot of it by myself. But Titanfall, no matter how, even if I do bad, I'm just like, oh my god, I still want to play the crap out of this game. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah. There's only one deterrent I've found so far, and that's those frickin' satchel charges. That's literally
every time
the
someone
only...
kills me with one of them, I'm just like, oh, you're one of those people. And then I found out that you need to use satchel charges to like progress to another generation.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I forgive you. Same thing with the freaking smart pistol. Smart pistol users hate your face. And people who use shotguns and snipe you from across the room because they're overpowered hate your faces even. Those things are ridiculous.
I don't have as much problems with the smart pistol as I do the satchel charges.
I don't get killed with smart pistols very often, but when I do...
Yeah, it's like, oh, you son of a...
I'm going to find you.
Yeah. But but like you said, it's just a wonderful experience that you can go into it by yourself and you can have a lot of fun. Yeah. And Halo doesn't have that.
Nope.
Currently.
Nope.
But yes, we will play. Especially now that I have my Xbox finally set up. It's been a while. I've had to unpack some stuff. I still got to unpack. Most of this weekend's going to be me unpacking, and then once I'm finally done, it's like, okay, now I have all this stuff to catch up on. But so going back to Saturday, was there anything else in the panel that they announced that was kind of big that we hadn't covered yet? I know they name dropped some weapons, although I didn't write them down. I don't know them off the top of my head.
I don't even remember them name dropping weapons, so that's all you. But they mostly just talked about like how they got to where they are and the things that we discussed already, working towards that, giving us more content and like the maps for the season pass and the not charging us for any other changes they made to the game, new game types, new tweaks, weapons, and things like that, yada yada. But they did fill the entire time for the panel with pretty awesomeness. There wasn't really any time for questions at the end of it.
They actually didn't have any time for questions at any of the panels that. Well, I'm telling you, no, they did the molding and casting one. They did have questions there, but for the Titanfall and the Borderlands one, they didn't have any time for questions.
No, it's because Randy took way too much time with his magic trick.
It was still a pretty cool magic trick, though.
It turned out to be really cool, and that kid won a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh, I was a little jealous.
So jelly.
A little bit.
But so then after the Titanfall panel, we went down and you talked to Sledge for a little bit, and like you said, you're gonna try to get him on the podcast, and we asked him about what they were giving away at the booth, because they didn't have a store at the booth, by the way. Like, I was really hoping that I could buy some sweet Titanfall merchandise, but they didn't have a booth. In fact, the Xbox One booth was partially made out of plywood.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was really weird.
That was not... I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know if they were going for some kind of, like, feel in the game, but I can't really think of any part in the game that had plywood really. I know like sheet metal for some of the like the outcast buildings, but I don't remember any like plywood.
It was weird. It's like they forgot about Pax East or something. They're like, oh crap, we need to make a booth. Well, I got some plywood in the garage. Here you go. Like, it was really weird.
It's like,
But
we didn't get all the materials that we needed to make the booth, so here we can just go to Home Depot and spray paint some plywood black.
Yeah, it was weird. No, they didn't even spray. Actually, some of it they did, but the rest of it was just wood color. It was just wood, naked plywood. It was really strange. But all they had for Titanfall at the booth was just some stations set up, and you could just get in line and play. And if you did wait in line and play, you got a patch and a pin.
Right. And
like you said, it's a different one every day at the convention.
Which sucked to hear after the fact.
Oh, no! So bad. But yeah, so after we talked to Sledge, and then we passed the time a little bit, walked around the convention a little bit. Me and Bill went to the Behemoth booth and bought a whole bunch of Castle Crasher and Battle Block Theater stuff.
He bought a bunch of Castle Crasher stuff.
They had a 4-pack of Knights from Castle Crashers, and he got that. And they come with their little action figurines, and they have different weapons you can put in their hands, and they come with a little glass case to protect them and keep them from getting dusty. He's not using, so now I'm gonna have to dust them. And I got a hat, and I got a sweatshirt, and a free scarf because we spent so much money.
Well, you got a Titanfall hat from somewhere, right?
Yes. It did. There was like one of those random booths that just like makes their own shirts and stuff like that, and they had a Titanfall hat, and it was one of those like military style hats that I love.
Which I'm super jelly of.
Oh, I was like, give me that. Is that Titanfall? Give me that hat. And they're like, okay. I was like, yes.
It's like Titanfall swag, you exist.
Nope.
They do have a store now, though. I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. Remember, like she was wearing the sweetest sweatshirt.
Yeah, and then we looked it up.
Abby had the sweetest sweatshirt on, and then we looked, and they were like, "Oh my god, they sell it! We gotta get one."
Yeah, we do. But
yeah, so we went and spent money there. I got the Titanfall hat on Sunday by chance while we were running around looking to see if 6OK was at the robot booth.
Which he was.
He was, and Bill
was
like,
busy.
Look at what's over here, and that's where I saw the hat.
Nice.
But yeah, so anyway, like we walked around the floor for a little bit. You went around. Where did you go?
So I was talking to 6OK for about 20 minutes.
Well, that was Sunday. Was that
Sunday?
Yeah.
So what would you say after?
Where you went? How did we lose you?
What did happen Saturday afternoon?
We'll figure it out later, but
so the panel was because we went pretty soon after the panel was done because there's the dinner at 7:30 or
and we got there early.
7:30. 6:30. Yeah, so and the panel was at 4:30.
It was at 7. It was at 7.
Yeah, so
I thought it was at 7:30, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, it's not.
So I can't remember what we did immediately following the panel.
I know that's what me and Bill did because we were carrying those bags around the entire time. But
wait, we went. Was that the day that we went back by the tabletop games, or was that Sunday? No, that was Saturday.
It was Saturday, yeah.
So yeah, we went back by the tabletop games and we walked through.
Bill likes Warhammer and painting those little like figurines and stuff. So he wanted to go see what they had over there. So he wanted to check that out, which I've actually never done at any of the conventions I went to because I don't do that stuff. But yeah, we went and checked that out. And then while we were waiting in line for Borderlands for 3 hours, a guy gave us an invite to a 2K community party, which was what we went to after going and checking out the board games and Warhammer stuff. We went to a little bit, like a 10-minute walk away from the convention to a really nice restaurant. We were so underdressed. It's called Empire.
Well, okay. It's a bunch of nerds at a gaming convention.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone's underdressed.
Everybody in that restaurant was probably just looking at all of these nerds like, what are you doing in here? But it was a really fancy nice restaurant.
Oh, it
like,
was nice.
Asian food and
Like when we walked in, I instantly thought Matrix. To be perfectly honest, a more yellowish
that look.
Matrix.
Very fancy. It was pretty. It was a really pretty place.
It was.
Yeah, it was a.
And the hors d'oeuvres
party.
was. Okay, I'll let you talk.
They let us get into the reserved area at 7, and we had to show our IDs, show that we had to be 21 and over because they had free drinks the whole night.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, like so all the drinks were paid for, the hors d'oeuvres were paid for, and they just kept coming and coming. They were really good. There was like what was that really good steak? It was like wagyu.
I don't know. I wish
or wagyu beef or something. It was like really like
that was delicious. All the food, all the food was freaking.
There was like.
I wish they had a menu of the stuff that they were serving.
They're probably online, but they had like lobster rangoons and
boxes of noodles, spring rolls.
They looked like little like Chinese takeout boxes with like chopsticks, and they just had like really good noodles in them. Yeah. And it was so cool.
Like I posted a picture to Instagram, and I was taking pictures as they kept on bringing stuff, thinking that this is probably all the stuff they have. Like I wasn't expecting them to have just a massive amount of different kinds of hors d'oeuvres. So after a while, I just said, screw it. I'm taking this one and I'm posting it. And that was about half of the food. I think it was the box of noodles, the chicken teriyaki, the spring roll, and whatever those little things were.
Lobster rangoons or something.
Yeah. So I tweeted that, and that was only like half of the hors d'oeuvres that came out. And they just keep bringing more, and it's like, I think between the three of us, we probably ate like $80 worth of food.
Oh my god, there's someone creepishly standing behind you right now, Dustin. Really creepy.
So it was a wonderful night though, and the funny thing is we got our own table. We sat down and we literally just sat there for almost the entire event, and we just played cards. And I think whenever the 2K people hosting it kind of stood up and announced people that were there. Only 2 people from Gearbox raised their hand, and it wasn't like people that were super well known either. So
it wasn't even Gearbox employees. It was just 2K employees. There's like, there's actually like people who worked on the games amongst you right now. Raise your hands. It was just like 2 people were just like,
Yeah, there were 2 people that were at Borderlands. It's like, oh, well, thanks for the free food, kind of thing. So
yeah, we just sat there at our own little table and like mind our own business for the whole time, like playing cards, and then they did a raffle and gave away some prizes.
Which Bill won something.
Bill won one of those sweet. If you guys get emails or anything or ever shop on thinkgeek.com, they have like this sweet Tetris light, and he actually won one of those, and it looks awesome.
It was pretty cool.
We probably went like home and tried to make a perfect square out of the pieces at the hotel room that night.
Yeah, we couldn't do it.
We couldn't figure it out. I don't think it's possible.
No.
Not with those pieces.
No. Yeah, we spent a good 30 minutes trying to figure out how to make a rectangle out of the pieces that were provided, and it's like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no. But, we gave it a valiant effort.
We did. And then we looked at the booklet of all the different kinds of configurations you can make. It's like, oh, yeah, there's not a rectangular one in here.
8 suggestions, like, here's some things you could do with them. It's like, well, we could do anything with them. This is kind of pointless. But none of them were a perfect square or rectangle. So
yeah.
We felt better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after the raffle, which you had to stay there for like the full 2 hours to like get to the end of the raffle, they gave away swag bags at the end. And we got in line for that a little late, so
yeah, a little late.
I didn't really get anything, but I got all they had left were like girls' shirts, so I still got swag, and they didn't. Haha.
Yay! I should have picked that one up for Blue. I'm sorry, Blue. So
yeah, I got a Psycho shirt from Borderlands that says "Strip the flesh and salt the wound."
Salt the wound.
Mhm.
And then was there something on the back?
No, there's nothing on the back.
Okay.
Really soft, comfy shirt though. I'm really glad I got one. But yeah, so then that was pretty much it for Saturday, and then we just went. Oh no.
Yeah. No.
Well, when we went back to the convention center to catch the shuttle on, that's when we went to your 8-bit music thing. And me and Bill were like,
no, because yeah, you were zombified. We stopped at something before that. I can't remember what though. Shoot.
I don't know what it was.
Because the Jeopardy was on Friday.
What did we do? Bill got home, by the way. What did we do?
Hello, Dustin.
Hello.
What did we do after the 2K party? We just
went back to the convention center
to catch the shuttle, right?
But,
and then he was like, "Oh, my friend's doing this 8-bit music thing."
But we.
Yeah. See, that's what he's saying. We did next.
I thought there was something in between that and getting the shuttle.
We went to the rock bottom when we got back.
Yeah, I know we did. Dang it.
Oh, that was Sunday night.
We ate at rock bottom. We went to rock bottom to just have a couple beers that night.
No, that was Friday night.
Bar.
I thought that was Friday night.
I don't know. Anyway, who cares?
But anyway, so yeah, for those who listen to the podcast, Damien Lacedaemon, who actually does This Spartan Life, he actually does 8-bit chiptune music, and he was there as part of the.
I didn't realize that's who that was. That's cool.
Yeah, and he's part of the Bit Brigade, and he actually has a different kind of name that he goes by for his 8-bit stuff, Glowmag. So he was there. He did a 20-minute set of stuff. We didn't stay for the whole thing. I actually came out a little bit earlier, but I did get to say hi to him. And it was there was some of the stuff that you've heard in the Spartan Life. He did actually play at his kind of it's not really concert thing, but during his performance he played some of that stuff. So that was really cool to hear it actually done live. Granted, Vanny and Bill were zombified, and there were definitely a few looks coming my way. It's like, we're tired, we want to go home. Why are you making us do this?
Not just that, but we haven't touched on the fact yet that my convention curse was in full swing. I have this.
Hopefully it's broken now, but
hopefully it's broken now. Every time I go to a convention, my piece of crap iPhone stops working. The first time it happened, I was in Austin at RTX, and I was out at whatever bar it is in Austin that has a bunch of arcade games and stuff, and it just went into recovery mode. And the next day, I had to go to the AT&T store and had them restore my phone. I lost all my contacts and everything, blah, 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 blah. And then it happened again to me last year, exactly 1 year ago at PAX East. On the way to Boston, my phone completely bricked and wouldn't take a charge. And I had to go to the AT&T store and buy a new phone. And then 1 year later, my phone is 1 year old and it starts turning itself off and then completely stops working altogether. So I had no phone for the whole day, and I couldn't tweet anything out about, I lost all my pictures, all this stuff. I was, oh my God, so
How many text messages and tweets mentions did you have when you finally got it up and running again?
When I ended up going yesterday and getting a Samsung Galaxy S5 because I will never get another iPhone for as long as I live after this. And the cool thing about the S5 is that you can transfer anything from iCloud to your phone, which luckily, every time that my phone connected to Wi-Fi, it backed up my phone on iCloud. So I actually didn't really lose a lot, but the usual extreme influx of text messages and stuff that you would get when you were restoring a phone or whatever, it didn't happen. So anything I missed while my phone, anything over the weekend, is just lost.
Aww,
except for Twitter, obviously, because that stays. But any text messages I missed out on, they're gone, whatever. But I did get all my contacts back. I got most of my pictures back and everything like that. So as bad as I was thinking, I had a lot of pictures on that phone.
Yeah. But welcome to Android.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing so far, by the way, everybody.
I'm actually going to
I don't think I
upgrade.
will. Yeah,
I'll be
it's
upgrading
great.
to an S5.
I really like it.
Yeah, I was actually going to upgrade to the S4, and I didn't realize that the S5 actually came out this last week. So
Uh,
I will be upgrading to the S5 probably tomorrow as
yeah,
well.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
And we got to switch to a new plan too because
Sweet.
AT&T is threatened by T-Mobile, so they made a whole bunch of stuff a lot cheaper for us.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a better data plan, so now I won't go over in data every single month all the time now, which is awesome.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, so back to PAX.
Back to PAX. So Saturday night we went home after stopping by to see Damien play, and I think we just stayed in, popped on Futurama, and basically just kind of crashed.
Yep.
Because we were going to get up early the next morning.
Yes, we had to get up early the next morning for the Borderlands panel, the
We did.
Gearbox panel.
Which was also an awesome panel.
It was a very awesome panel. We actually
In
we
typical
were
Borderlands
planning on
fashion.
getting there a little later, and there was a tweet sent out by PAX Line, so it was like, oh, the line has started, and we're like, oh my god. So like we're really trying to get there as fast as we can, and we get there, and we end up being like the 6th people in line. Like the line started, but then it didn't grow. So
Yeah.
so we were right at the front of the line basically. But
Well, and they already actually let some people upstairs, but the like for everyone that was downstairs, I think they had like 3 or 4 of the queue lines upstairs already filled, and we were just the front of the queue line downstairs. But still, it was
at the booth. Actually, we didn't actually get into this, but we waited in line for 3 hours. We got to watch that thing, and then at the end of it, they gave us this cool little thing that was like a passport, and it had missions.
The
in
loot
it. One of the
pass,
missions
yeah.
was to sit through that video, which we did, which was actually sitting through a 3-hour line. But anyway, the second mission was take your picture with, or get your picture taken with this statue of Jack. And so we did that. And then the third mission was go to the NVIDIA booth and test out the last Borderlands 2 expansion, The Son of Cromerax. And it was on PC, which I don't play PC games, so it was a little I managed. And so we did all those missions, and you go and back to the Borderlands booth, and they give you a cinch bag that looks like Claptrap, and it has some trading cards in it with Vault Hunters on it. And you had a chance to get a card that had the moon on it and win prizes, but none of us did.
no.
But they
We
did have a
didn't.
store at their booth, and I got a cool, yep. And I got I got a Butt Stallion shirt.
Yes, and it's actually PAX branded Butt Stallion shirt.
Yeah, it's different than the one you can get online. It actually says
Yeah.
PAX East 2014 on it and stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so if you were one of the first 100 people Friday and the first 100 people Saturday to do that, you got a VIP stamp to be in the front of the line for the panel on Sunday. So that's why those people were butting ahead of us, because
Right.
they did it first. And
100 people is
Yeah.
not that much, though, if you in the grand scheme of things.
200 people. They took up like the first 3 or 4 rows,
Yeah,
only in the middle.
it really wasn't that. It wasn't really that much of a detriment.
Yeah. So then we got in line, and we were like the 5th row, so right in the
Mhm.
middle. So it was still a pretty good seat.
Oh,
And,
definitely.
And the panel was good. Like usual, Gearbox fashion, they let all the cosplayers go up on the stage and do a little catwalk.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. I forgot about that part. But
And
they had some really cool cosplayers. I mean, it was some of the ones that were there, especially the sarcastic Marauder. That was freaking
my God.
hilarious. That was good. I think that one probably got some of the best cheers out of it because it was just brilliant. Like you described it best when you said he was coming up and you really didn't know who he was supposed to be, but then it clicked that he was the sarcastic Marauder, and then you just like cracked up laughing.
yeah, like he walked up and he's just, you're looking at him and you're like, well, who's he supposed to be? Like, yeah, that's a nice costume, but what is that? And then he just starts doing the sarcastic clap, and like everybody in the theater erupted with laughter because like it just clicked for everybody like last minute. And yeah,
It was
that was
fantastic.
a really good one.
And there were some pretty good like all the main characters. Was there was there a Roland? There was. There were a few Tiny Tinas.
There was a couple. Well,
there was a Gunzerker.
Yeah, there was a couple Gunzerkers, a couple Moxies, a couple Liliths, couple Mayas and Tiny Tinas, and
there were some really good cosplayers there.
Yeah, there was a little bit of everybody. There was a female Jack, I think, and a male Moxie, which was funny. Mikey loved it. He loved anybody who was a dude dressed up as one of the female characters. He like really liked that.
That's interesting.
He just thought it was cool. But yeah, like the panel, I mean, like we pretty much went over a lot of it already. They went on to discuss the Headhunter pack that came out this past Tuesday. It's the 5th and final Headhunter DLC, and it's the last DLC that will ever come out for Borderlands 2, they said. Which at the end of the year, there will be the pre-sequel, which we talked a lot about already. And then they did a lot of very community-oriented discussions. They talked about how a lot of people messaged them about how much the game means to them and helps them get through hard times. They had everybody in the audience stand up and sing happy birthday to somebody who was going through a really hard time named Arbra. And they had everybody record it too. And
I still need to upload mine.
Upload it to YouTube. And they actually had the guy who does the voice of Claptrap come out and sing to her as well. And of course, Randy Pitchford did his magic trick. He always does. It was a new one, but he always does a magic trick. He loves doing magic trick. And it was actually a really good one. It was a sleight of hand, make you look at this and think this, but he was actually doing this kind of thing. And he pulled it off really well. He actually stole it from those in Vegas.
Penn and Teller.
What is it?
Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller. And it was really cool.
Thank you, backseat driver.
And a kid ended up winning a loot chest, one of the diamond plate loot chests, a Razer gift certificates, and
for $300.
Yeah, $300, and a really good
graphics card, EVGA, GeForce GTX 780 with 3 gigs of DDR5 RAM, which is insane.
You know that. Okay. Yep.
I saw the specs on it. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he won that. They made him think he was only going to win one, and he ended up winning just the loot chest.
Everything.
And he was like, "Actually, you get all of it. Congrats!" So it was pretty cool. He won.
Yeah, for being a good sport. Yeah,
and
definitely.
They also touched a little bit on a game we didn't talk about yet, which is Borderlands. Gearbox collaborated with Telltale Games that makes the Walking Dead series of games and The Wolf Among Us, and they're making a Tales of the Borderlands game, which is starring 2 new characters, and it does feature some of the characters we all know and love, of course. They did say the opening scene is Zero fighting somebody in just wrecking a town somewhere, which sounds really cool. So if you get to see Zero, I'm sure you get to see a lot of other people. But they actually had one of the people who worked on that come out and talk on the panel for a little bit, and he was actually at the signing too.
He was. Very
friendly dude. I actually talked to him about the Walking Dead game a little bit, and the new season 2, where you get to be spoiler alert if you haven't played it yet. What are you waiting for? First of all, you get to play as Clementine from the first season, which a lot of people I know are anticipating to. There's a very gruesome scene where you have to actually suture your own wound. You got bit by a dog pretty brutally, and you actually have to watch this little 10-year-old girl sew a wound closed on her arm. Oh my god. I was talking to him about that, and he said they actually it's a very gut-wrenching scene to sit through, And
I'm sure it is.
they actually, like, this is the toned down version from what they had originally, he said. So it's a really, it's not, when I first played the Walking Dead series from Telltale, I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm just watching. Like I'm telling it to do this, and then I just watch stuff for a long time. But it actually, like, it's actually very relaxing to do. It's easy, lay back and play this game, and it's actually pretty entertaining. It's not so much like sit forward in your seat, gunners on your face, and, you know,
Right.
like all pumped up on G Fuel playing your games or nothing like that. No, you just sit back, relax, and you tell it to go through the story for you, and it bases off of the decisions you make. It's really cool, and that's the same thing that the Borderlands game is going to be like. Decide to do this or that, and then it's going to decide what the outcome is and things like that, and it's going to have.
It's a little more of
the universe on Pandora, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it kind of incorporates the whole kind of like role play and decision making stuff with where you can choose different dialogue options, kind of like how Mass Effect and the Oblivion games do it.
Yeah, or, you know, like you could go really old school. And remember when Goosebumps came out with those books, and you could, like, you know, you get to the bottom of the page and it's like, oh, would you turn left in the maze? Well, then turn to page 42. Oh, would you turn right? You know, it's like those books, but better. And not Goosebumps.
So that game's going to be coming out. They also talked about Homeworld a little bit. That they're coming out and basically remastering that whole series. And they talked about some of the interesting collector's items that they're going to be doing and the work that they've been doing to really bring that experience to it. And I've actually never played Homeworld before.
Me either. I actually don't know anything about it
until they talked about it at PAX Prime, and then they talked about it here. So
it seemed like a big deal, though. They sold it. I mean, I'd play it. So whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Gearbox. I mean,
yeah.
They helped make Halo, so they're obviously good at something, and they made a great game, Borderlands. So why not, right?
Right.
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 Yep.
So, what else was in that panel that we hadn't covered yet? I think that was
had Cliff Bleszinski for like 2 minutes. That was cool.
Yeah, as part of that one guy that won all the prizes. Yeah.
He was just there to distract the kid.
It's like, at first, I bet you've never had a picture with a famous video game developer. So we have Cliffy B in the map, and he comes out.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, not one of you guys. No, just
and he gets a golden keychain to put on him before he takes the picture, which was crazy. And then I think that covers most of what they talked about during the Borderlands panel.
Pretty much. I think so. Yeah.
And they did a partial demo of some of the stuff that they showed off in the secret screening. And
waited in line for, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I noticed the gameplay that they showed in the video that they showed was actually the same gameplay that we sat in.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of
anyway.
surreal.
It was really similar.
Well, no, it was the same because they didn't reset the game for the level progressions, and it was at the same stage in level progression as we did when we got in there. And I remember some of the same scenes when they were fighting with a little bit further on when they did the butt stomp and the freeze and the punch. I mean, I saw that was the same gameplay. So it was interesting to see that they used gameplay from the thing that we saw them play, from the live gameplay that we saw. So that was kind of surreal, at least for me. But they showed some of that off. They showed the whole ice weapons, and they mentioned the fact that you're going to be able to go and play some of these characters that you're familiar with, and that's between 1 and 2. But they didn't go as in depth as they did with the actual in-person presentation.
Which, you know, I'm glad they didn't, because I sat in line for 3 hours.
For 3 hours, exactly.
God damn it. Yeah, at the end of the panel, they handed out the codes. Everybody in the audience, the panel, got a code for the pre-sequel for free.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
That was epic.
And then directly after that, we went straight to the queue room and waited in line for another good hour.
2 hours almost.
For to get some stuff signed by them. I got the inside cover of my Borderlands 2 game signed by there's 5 of them.
Right. There was Mark Armstrong, Randy Pitchford, the guy from Telltale Games, and I forget the other 2 guys that were up on stage. But yeah, so they had.
He does the voice of Scooter.
Yeah. Which Scooter is another funny character if you haven't played Borderlands. Real hillbilly redneck type person. But they did have the issue of OXM that's supposed to be coming out here in about a week and a half early for them to sign, since they had a big they had a lot of articles in there about the pre-sequel stuff. So
and the Telltale Games thing.
And the Telltale Games. And the Tales from the Borderlands. So they had those that they were giving out and then having people sign. Then you could get them to sign whatever else that you wanted to. And that's when I got to actually talk to Randy about my interest in Gearbox ever since Halo and get him to be interested in coming on our show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always cool.
Yep, they signed the magazines, and if you had anything else with you, like I had my game case, they signed that too. And they gave out lanyards.
They did?
Which had the little Gearbox software, like gear, with like a triangle in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but it's awesome, and it's black with little pink things on it, and I like it.
Probably because of the pink, right?
Yep, that thing right there.
So that was kind of it for Sunday, other than we did go by the Titanfall booth at the Xbox area, picked up the patches, got to play against the devs. Unfortunately, we didn't win. We were winning for a good while there.
I'm still mad about it. TVs were huge, and you got to stand like
they were
5 inches away from them. And then, like, I remember to invert because I play inverted. Suck it. I don't want to hear it. And but the controls were on like bumper jumper. I don't play on bumper jumper, and so I had to go fix that. And then it was on Colony, which I'm not familiar with. I had a lot of excuses. I did bad. It was Bill's first time ever playing Titanfall, and he
did pretty good. And we actually were winning for about 2/3 of the game, and then they just
beat us by 30 points. 30 points.
But I mean, I was consistently checking. I was consistently checking it, and we were winning at one point, like 206 to 197 or something. Like, it was close all the way through, and then near the end, they just took off.
Yeah.
So, but we had 2 other people on our team that really didn't do well either.
I was on the bottom of our team, so I definitely dragged us down. I failed you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll still have you as my battle buddy.
Yay.
And then after that we
split up.
We walked around a little bit. That's when we went. Oh, I went to go see 60K, and I bought a couple of Fallout things. Well, I bought a Fallout hoodie. Talked to 60K, and then we split up. You guys went around and looked at your own stuff.
We went back to the Behemoth booth. Okay, because
and that's when you got the big thing.
Friday and Saturday they had autographs from 2 to 4, and we missed them both. And then Sunday, all of a sudden, they decided that they were going to do it again. And so we were like, well, we didn't bring anything with us, so we had to buy more stuff. So I bought a Pink Knight action figure, and he bought a Necromancer action figure, and we got them autographed by what are their names?
Tim and Will.
Tim and Will. Super nice guys. You could tell.
No, excuse me, Tom.
What is it?
Tom and Will.
Tom and Will. Really funny guys. They he had them autograph the wings on his Necromancer, and I had them autograph the glass case on my Pink Knight, and they actually drew like Castle Crasher Knight faces, like in pink marker, like all like silly and girly with hearts everywhere. And they're really cute. I'll have to send you.
It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that, and then we just walked around and checked out all the other stuff, like those cool wooden tables they make that have like all the little drawers in them for like, Warhammer stuff and blah blah blah.
Like the kind of the semi-custom build drawers and tables and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
There's some real craftiness that goes into those kinds of tables too.
Yeah, but
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that was pretty much it. We ran into you again, and you had to go back and buy some stuff for some friends. Look around for some cool stuff you could buy for your friends, and so me and Bill were like, well, we're gonna go wait outside or out front or whatever, and so we went outside, and there's like all these stone like walls and seats and stuff out there, and we just went and picked some to sit down on. Nice. We just sat down, and I was kind of bummed. It was the end of PAX, and there wasn't a lot to do, so we were kind of leaving early, and I was bummed that I didn't really get to talk to anybody from Respawn and get any autographs or anything. And this was before I even knew about the signing, so like I would have been double bummed about that if I knew about it then. But like, so I was just like really bummed. Actually, at one point while we were walking around, we checked out the Titanfall booth again to see if they were still there. And I was going to go see if 6OK had a marker, and I was going to run back and see if they would sign something for me, because I left my marker in the hotel room because I'm dumb. And but they weren't there. So we went outside and we sit down, and we texted you and told you that we were outside. Whenever you were done, we'd be outside.
Yep.
So it was really nice out. And I'm just kind of like, looking around or whatever, and Bill's like, what did you say? You're just like, hey, do you want to see if they'll sign something? And I'm like, huh? And I look over, and here comes Justin Hendry, the game designer that was on the panel for Respawn, and Abby Hepp, the community manager, walking right up and sitting down right next to us. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just launch up and I just barrage them. And I'm just like, hey, do any of you have a marker? And they're like, oh my God. Because I was just so like in their face about it, because I was super excited, because I was just sitting there all like bummed out. And Abby's like, oh my God, I think I have a marker. And I was like, will you guys sign my lanyard? And they're like, oh, okay. And so they signed my lanyard for me. And then they were out there for a cigarette break, which if you guys watched the panel, I don't know how much of it they show.
Oh my gosh.
Justin was
nervous as hell.
With an e-cigarette, just like puffing on it all the time and just blowing the smoke up in the air. It was really funny. It's like, that's just another example of how down to earth these people were. They were just like, whatever, I'm just on stage. But they hung out and talked to us for like a good half an hour on their cigarette break or whatever. Like, when they ran out of cigarettes, I just pulled out another one, just hung out and talked to us. And they talked to us about, like, that's where they told us about how, it wasn't really them that spread the word on Titanfall so much. Like Dustin said earlier, they just had like one piece of promo, and then it was just word of mouth. Like, they talked about that. They talked about the April Fool's joke, which...
Oh, yes. The
Optimus
Prime Titan.
Yeah, yep.
Sorry.
They told us about that, and like fun stuff about April Fools, and like just how the community is reacting to the game, really, like how much feedback they take, and like how much they appreciate how much we love the game, and they want to keep hearing from us, and like they just they were so down to earth. Like we said earlier, it was like we were just talking to our friends from home. They were just so comfortable. Like at first they were kind of just like, so I was just like in their face, but like they got really comfortable with us and stuck around for a good while. And we got to just chit chat about a lot of stuff, and it was awesome. They were so loved it.
It's really nice to see a developer just be chill and to interact with people, even just like randomly as you pass by, and even if you have people just barraging you for signatures. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we got to talk to them for what, 20 minutes?
You came out like halfway through, which I couldn't text you or anything and tell you that they were there because
your phone, yeah. Yeah.
But me and Bill were talking to them for a good like 10-15 minutes before you came outside, and I talked to them about how we were, like I said earlier, about how we were trying to open BTBnet back up to do Titanfall stuff, and I talked to them about Game Sager and his IGN competitive team, which right now on game battles they're like 32-0, undefeated.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're sick. Like, go watch like twitch.tv/GameSager or whatever you can. The kid is insane. He's super nice. He gives out tips while he's playing. Like, it's one of the best streams you can watch. And he also has this cool point system in his stream, and you can win giveaways and stuff.
I really need to check that out.
Seriously.
I've just been moving over the past like 2-3 weeks, so I haven't had a chance to really dive into anything like that. But I mean, once I'm finally getting settled in, I'm definitely kind of getting back on the video game swing of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his whole team, like everybody on the team streams. So if he's not streaming, one of the other ones, Chaser or Giggle Monster, Vorlin, and
Giggle Monster?
Giggle Monster. Yeah.
Ooh.
Borderlands and Alfredo IGN is the other one, and Sangmao from Master Theory is the team coach.
Interesting.
Yep, it's a really good team. Like I said, 32-0, and when we started the podcast, 100 hours ago, they were in the middle of a Game Battles Last Titan Standing tournament, but there's like a prize for it, so Last Titan Standing, lol.
That's pretty cool.
They were in the last round when we started, so I don't know if they won or not. But
yeah, we've almost gone on for 3 hours.
GameSager himself is number 1 for singles on Game Battles for Titanfall as well. So if you want to watch somebody be really good at Titanfall and learn some stuff and learn some tips, and people in his stream, like the moderators, like me, we're really friendly too. So if you want to come hang out, yeah, that's where I like to spend my time when he's streaming. I say
Cool.
watching how good this kid is, like a robot.
There's some Halo players that we've kind of come to know that we may think are robots too.
I don't understand. Like, his eyes are so good. Why are your eyes so good, GameSager? But
yeah, so we got to talk to them. You got to talk to them for a lot more, and we got to just chat about the game, chat about different experiences, and we got to talk to them about even more than what they just talked about at the panel, which was really cool. That they're just willing to talk about the development process, not really seem to hold anything back, not to really care about whether or not they can say certain things.
They were so comfortable with us.
Oh yeah, I mean their willingness to just talk to people is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that we got to run into them outside of that kind of formal environment.
Yeah, and like the way that they are with the community is just like what I'm missing from Halo, to be honest with you. Like, I was missing that kind of connection with game devs, and it was really nice to have that feeling.
343, take a hint. Just saying.
Yeah.
Give them next year, people in that scenario would have been crowding around them.
Right? Yeah. Like, yeah. A year from now, everybody's going to know them by face. And
pretty much, yeah.
if that ever happens again, it won't just be us or me freaking jumping in their face asking for an autograph. It'll be everybody
a bunch
out
of other
there.
people. Exactly.
Freaking, there's some kid next to us with like a keyboard and a guitar just like jamming. Like, that kid would have been all over the face. Ukulele. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so
that was kind of the end of
very lucky, and that really made my trip. Like,
yeah.
Getting that at the end, right at the end of PAX.
Yeah. Like, even though Halo wasn't there, I felt that we got a lot out of PAX.
Oh my god, are you kidding? That was like one of my favorite PAXs ever now. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think Titanfall might be becoming my new real favorite passion.
Yeah, me too. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to say that with Halo because I love the Halo universe. I love the story behind it. I love the books. I love the lore. I love the way that it historically has been kind of a balanced game. But recently, it's just like there's just core values that I feel that Halo's straying away from, and Titanfall is this new, fresh experience that I can't stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that the devs are ready and willing to be completely, well, not necessarily completely, but just to be open and talkative and be relatable to is just a blessing to the gaming industry, really.
Yep. Like, I know that we talked about this before, just you and me, but I love Halo. I've always loved Halo ever since I was introduced to it, which was actually right at the end of Halo 2. So I missed a lot of the really golden age of Halo.
Yeah, so you and me are kind of in the same boat in a lot of things.
Yeah, but
I think I introduced
you and Chad introduced me to Halo.
that.
But I will always love Halo, but nowadays it's feeling like I'll always love it in the way that I'll always love Mario, and I'll always love Zelda,
Right.
I'll always
And Pokemon
love,
and
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm not clamoring to play them as much as I can. It's just like I love those games, and that's it. I love the lore, I love the stories, Master Chief, everything like that. But like right now, my passion is becoming Titanfall. And, like whereas I used to hurry home from work to play Halo all night, like with friends or by myself, that's all I would do. I can't do that anymore. Like,
and Titanfall is starting to become that.
yeah, Titanfall
Which I
definitely
have-
is that.
Yeah, I have the same kind of feeling, which I hate to say that Halo's losing steam, because I've always kind of had the mentality where they've had this one kind of strike that's kind of a given to them. But I'm going to reiterate, if they don't nail Halo 5, Halo's done
Yeah.
as being considered really a
Much as I
AAA
hate to say
title.
it. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
having to say that. I don't like that at all.
I don't.
I love Halo, but it's the truth. Like, that's how I feel. I mean, it was hard when they introduced these new Spartans. These Spartan suits, they're beautiful. They're really cool, but they're not the same. They're new. And which, I shouldn't be so scared of something new, but it's still different. And
Right.
like these new enemies, that's different. It's just like it's like a whole new game, and everything else that's like wrong, I guess, with Halo
Mhm.
4.
Yeah.
The flow of the game is just so off compared to what we as a community fell in love with. Like, there's a reason that we flocked to Halo.
Yes.
And even Reach I liked better than Halo 4 gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it speaks volumes to just some of the core values that people hold for Halo, and that core values that are widely held that Halo 4 just kind of strayed away from.
Yeah.
And that's just the unfortunate piece about it, is that there were those decisions that 343 made to change the way the game was done and to change the experience that people were going to have, and it was vastly different from what people were expecting for a Halo game.
My excitement for Halo 4 was off the charts. I had never been so looking forward to a game, I don't think, ever. And then I was really let down. Yeah, like, I was really let down.
A lot of people were.
Like, the thing about 343 is, like, they can kind of in a way, they can get away with a flop because they're owned by Microsoft. They f up and make a bad game, whatever, they can make another one,
Yeah, but it's just
A
kind of
company-
it's one.
That's a company like Respawn. If Titanfall doesn't make it, then they don't have a Microsoft to fall back on, If they mess up, if they don't do this right, and Titanfall flops, which it hasn't, by the way, because it's great, you should buy it, but, then they're done. Like, this is their lifeblood, like, and they're really, you can tell that they're putting their heart and soul into it and making sure that they're listening to us and making us happy, because that's what matters. Like, we're gonna be the ones keeping them in business, and they know that, and they appreciate that and understand it, and that's why they're so willing to be open with us and honest and work with us, and work hard. Like, they told us they've been nonstop even after the game came out. They still don't get to stop. Like, Abby, she said she's only gotten to play the game, like, she either said 6 times or 6 hours total since the game came out or something like that. Like, she hasn't gotten to play a lot. And that just goes to show you that, like, they're still working their asses off. The game's done. The game's out.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't released date, and they met it, but they're still working on it, and that's awesome.
Well, that release date slipped because it was originally going to be a launch title for the Xbox One.
Uh-huh.
And right. I'm personally thankful that they waited and they ironed out the experience because it's a great game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what should have happened with Halo 4.
Yeah.
But after the discussion on Friday, I think we just kind of chilled. We left the convention center and we went to go to dinner at Rock Bottom. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I think we just kind of went back to the hotel and
did all our stuff.
Yeah. I think Bill played Titanfall on the 360 for a bit. And then I played it for a bit and harassed the heck out of this one kid.
Oh my god, some kid was like, oh, you can't have Storm in your name because that's in my name. And then, like, he just, like, tried to go after Dustin for, like, 3 games in a row, and he just kept doing the... Oh my god, you pooped on this kid so hard. It was so great.
I tore him to pieces.
It was really funny.
I think he only managed to kill me once.
I think he killed you at least once.
Yeah, I think he only killed me
Definitely
once.
I think you're right, just one time. That's funny.
It's like, I wasn't trying to go after this kid at all. He just kept coming to me.
He was looking for you the entire, like, 3 games, and then he finally left.
Yeah. It's like, he didn't send any messages afterwards. So, I thought about saying something smirky back to it, but I didn't. I was the better man for the time being. But it was funny to just, like, this kid would come up and I'm like, nope, denied. Every single time. So we did that. I played some Borderlands for a bit. Got up to level 70 finally. Slowly working my way to over 8. And then we were actually waiting for one of my friends to come by to stay the night for Sunday. I think some people that in this podcast would know who she is. Savage Giggles. She was the person that was in the cat armor for that live action trailer for Reach.
Which is awesome.
Which is pretty cool. So yeah, she actually came she came by around 1:30 in the morning. So I stayed up to make sure that she could get in because the doors to the outside were actually key protected. So actually when you guys went to sleep, I went outside to wait for her and waited for about 10 minutes and then she showed up. So she came up.
I went to bed.
Yeah, she came up.
Like 1:30. I was like, seriously? I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Like we thought she was going to be there around like 10 o'clock or so. Yeah, that didn't happen. So we watched Futurama for a while. They went to bed. I stayed up and went to go get her. Brought her to the room and then went to sleep. And then we got up and we.
Then I got to meet her and she was super awesome.
Yeah. No, she's really nice.
It was really nice. She has a sweet Halo 3 backpack.
Yeah, she does. She has some pretty cool swag. Some pretty cool Halo swag. And it was funny because you got to meet her just as fast as you got to say goodbye.
No, sucks.
Which sucks. It would have been nice to have her kind of come a little bit earlier, but we packed up Monday morning, went downstairs around 10:15. We said goodbye. You and Bill went off to the bus station, and me and Jordan took a cab to the airport, and we talked Halo stuff. We talked about just kind of some of the stuff that we talked on the podcast tonight about just certain ways that 343 has interacted with the community, some of the things that need to be kind of reevaluated and brought back to bring life back into Halo and all that stuff. And we talked for like an hour and a half just on Halo stuff. So it was really cool. And Man, that pretty much wraps up the PAX experience, I think.
I hope so. Jesus.
I mean, we just spent 3 hours talking about it, so we obviously had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, despite 343 not being there, we found definitely enough stuff and excitement to fill up our time there, even though there was only like 3 panels we wanted to go to the entire weekend.
Well, we did want to catch a few more, but we missed one because of waiting in line for the Borderlands.
Oh, and you know what? I wanted to go to that. There was like a Rise of the Geek bar. Sounded really interesting to me, but it was during the 2K party, and I didn't want to miss that party because it sounded awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't, because food.
That was some tasty food. Really tasty food. But yeah, so that's our PAX experience. That's what you guys can expect if you come to these kinds of events.
Think if you're waiting in line next year for 3 hours, you could listen to this entire podcast.
That is pretty ironic. We could have just recorded the podcast while we were waiting in line.
Seriously, well, that's why you bring Game Boys and stuff with you to keep yourself occupied. True. And then when you get stuck at a weird point in the line where it bends around and comes back the way you came from, and everybody tries to get in line next to you like it's the end of the line, you get to break their hearts and tell them that they're going to go all the way around, and you've already been in line for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Like the looks on people's faces as we told them, no, this is near the front of the line. You got to go all the way around the corner and down a couple rows. They're like, oh, okay.
What?
And some of them would just walk off.
Yeah. They're smarter than us.
Oh no, it was pretty cool stuff that we got to see.
I'm glad we got to do that. I mean, out of what was there this year, that was the big thing that I wanted to go see, and we did it. So
we did.
Like after that, I was like, okay, cool, thanks.
Cool, thanks. And I got a pretty cool loot pass too.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, I actually had them sign that when we went to the
No, I thought about doing that.
So that was cool. Got my own little Borderlands passport.
Yeah.
Oh, and the one last thing we're gonna add is the freaking vault symbol stamp.
Yeah.
I so want one of those. While we were waiting in line,
someone came around and put vault symbol stamps on our hands so that we could prove that we actually waited in the line, because people were trying to cut in line and stuff. Because once you actually got into, they had a huge dome with really comfy seats, by the way, because they love and care about us.
The Moon Dome.
It was like a mini theater, and you were in there watching that video for a good probably 20 minutes. So that's why the line took so long. And that's why people were trying to cut in line, because they didn't want to wait. And so if you didn't have that stamp, you didn't get to go in.
Yeah. It was really, really cool, though. Live gameplay is always preferable over just video, though. And the live gameplay was good.
Yep. That one guy sat there in the back of the row, or in the back of the theater, just playing the game and showing us everything there was.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the laser and the ice gun. And...
Lasers on the moon. And the bun stop. I'm going to have so much fun with that. Oh, boy. So, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode, guys. Thank you for tuning in to our PAX special. Remember, you can check us out on podtacular.com. And while you're there, check out our other sites, social communities, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We normally record Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we do that live over at twitch.tv/podtacular. So check us out during that time. We also do our custom games on Wednesday nights at 8:30. Maybe moving that to a little bit later time slot. I'll let you guys know pretty soon here what we're going to change with that. But that's been held down by Godzilla Todd while I've been away moving and going to PAX and stuff. So huge shout outs to him for keeping those lobbies going. I will be back in the lobby next week. So you guys will see me and I'll get to pwn your faces in all the little zombie flood game types that we like to play.
Ugh.
There's some pretty fun ones that aren't just like the zombies coming in and killing people. So you should come check it out sometime.
Fine. But I want to like it.
So that's on Wednesdays, and that's pretty much all that we have. Make sure you check out the podcast network. That's the podcast.net. You can find shows like Guardian Radio, Critcast, Reachcast, How to Murder Time, and Work in Progress over there on our sister sites. So check those out. And I want to give a huge thanks to Vanny for sticking out for 3 hours and talking about our experiences at Boston for PAX East.
We ran out of beer like an hour ago.
I'm sorry. I can send compensations later. In forms of cookies. So, thank you again very much. Appreciate being on. And thank you to all of our listeners who download us. If you're going
Sorry,
to...
it's 3 hours long.
Yes. If you're going to RTX, you can see us there. I think both of us are going to be there this year.
We can try, maybe.
And then PAX Prime, I will be there. Vanny will hopefully be there if she can get the means to go. I hope you get to go. I hope you get to go. Because it's going to be a big year for Halo, I think, at PAX Prime.
A lot of try maybes for the rest of this year.
So honestly. Try now, maybe. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.